Well, here it is, the grand final of the last chance qualifier. So guys, we whittled it down to 2 teams, and as it happens, it is 2 teams from Sweden that are now clashing to advance to the round of 8, to the second phase of the Nations Cup. $10,000 are on the line in the tournament here. 7 teams have already qualified for the second phase of the tournament, and now it comes down to 1 final team that is going to join them. So just now we had one of the Swedish teams take out the Germans and another team take out the Russians, and it's all going to come down to this best of 5 series. We're starting with Battlefield of Eternity, and it's going to be quite wild because I am not so sure who's the favorite here. We obviously have Sweden 1 as the first seed and Sweden 2 as the second seed from Sweden, but I don't know which one of them is stronger. Both of them have delivered fantastic games, and if anything, I would say that Sweden 2 on the left side of the map is currently quite a bit more powerful. At least that's like the idea that you got from the previous series. Insane, by the way. Russia against Sweden. If you haven't seen that, make sure that you check it out on YouTube, because oh my god, what a series. Absolutely bonkers. And now we're going into a battle between Wooby and Sven going up against the likes of Gia and Make. I mean, it's bonkers. Honestly, the entire day was crazy. One highlight game after another. Now we're heading into our next best of 5 series, and it's going to be interesting. It's also going to be nice because we at least are guaranteed to now have 1 Swedish team represented in the round of 8. So far, funnily enough, even with 3 teams signing up from Sweden, not one of them was able to directly qualify for the next round of the tournament. So the Nations Cup is going to continue soon with Phase 2, but we are going to determine our final team here. And, well, who's it going to be? Over on the left side, we now have Team Make. Actually, I'm not even sure how I'm going to do this. We're going to probably talk blue team and red team, because it's going to be a little bit confusing to have the 2 of them now both being Team Sweden. But hey, that's what it is, and I'm not going to go through the thing of like coming out with like second seed, first seed the entire time. But it's kind of crazy to get Wooby with a Chen first pick for Battlefield of Eternity. That's actually kind of wild. Chen as a first pick on the first map of the match. Now, quick reminder that we have a draft rule that every single hero can only be played once, so keep that in mind. We got a Nubarak and Hanzo starting things up over on the side of the blue team. But yeah, Gia, he has been one of the absolute... I mean, honestly, watching Gia today was a pleasure. The previous series, he's been playing Kerrigan. We saw him on Liming. We saw him on Alarak. And the games that he played were insane. The rest of the team also top-notch. But Gia had some standout performances in essentially all of the maps, so it was kind of nuts. But we get Tracer and we get Malfurion. So, nice combo already. Malfurion plus Tracer, absolutely fantastic. That's always nice because you can get that heal over time. That also works as an overheal, allows Tracer to be more aggressive as she starts to move in. Then again, the question, how exactly is the blue team going to deal with it? It's kind of funny, by the way, when you look at the initial bans that we had from Team Sweden, they started to target ban Wooby immediately. Banned out Blaze, banned out Urel, and just said, yeah, this is not happening. We're going to shut down Wooby every single step that we can. Might not have too much room to play with in the first game, but once that the series progresses and more heroes are unavailable because they've been played previously, we might be able to force him into heroes where he's not completely dominate the lane. So a lot of respect here against probably the best side laner that Europe has ever seen. Genji banned, and now the double picks on the left side as they go for the 3-4. Marco, of course, also with a lot of pressure today, and yeah, the team just comes from a best of 5 series. Both of them have actually played today, but we get Thrall and we get Brightwing. And I'm immediately interested what Thrall is going to pick. The last 2 times that we've seen Thrall in the last chance qualifier, he went actually for his Trash Lightning, and it just did not work well. Not even remotely. Echo of Elements, definitely good arguments to be made for that talent to be picked, and then obviously you have Maelstrom Weapon too. But Trash Lightning, it's just... Then you lose stacks now when you die, it's just too tricky. Garrosh and Sylvanas, final 2 picks here for the red team. And, well, with that, we're nearly off to the races, as Mack is the last one that has to choose. They could go for a triple frontline here, Maka more so known, of course, for his range damage performance. But, well, let's have a bit of a look on how this is going to work for them right now. That is going to be... I mean, again, they could go for a triple frontline too. What's Maka going to play? Seems like we're going to get Arthur's. There it is. Triple frontline. Probably going to swap some of the heroes around here. Either way, we are off to the grand final. Our best of 5, the final one, which will determine which one of these two teams advances to the round of 8, to the second phase of the Nations Cup 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, we're heading into our first map, Battlefield of Eternity. The second seed from Sweden, hailing from the left in game number 1. In blue, we have Maka on Thrall. Bakul playing Brightwing for the blue team. Skok on Anubarak, Max Passion on Arthurs, and Gia with Hanzo. The first seed from Sweden, playing on the right side of the map with Azzy on Tracer. We got Wooby on Chen, Captain Rex on Sylvanas, Galnagulna on Malfurion, and Sven is playing Garrosh. So, Sweden versus Sweden. Two absolute top-notch teams. Honestly, it's a little bit silly. Look at the names that we have here. It's actually bonkers. This is something that could have been a tournament final. I mean, again, technically, I guess it is a tournament final. It is the last chance qualifier and the final of that. But you know what I mean. For a proper tournament, this could have been the actual final of a tournament a couple of years ago. So it's wild to see that happen right now as both of them try to qualify for the next round of the event. And the good news for all the Swedish fans is that it will guarantee that at least one Swedish team will be represented in the round of 8. Now we get again Trash Lightning. They played it before, Maka played it before, and it didn't work out against the Russians when he played it on Haunted Mines. Now he's trying it on Battlefield of Eternity against his countrymen. Let's see if he's going to get a bit more success here, or if this is also going to backfire. But at least in the previous Best of 5 series, that didn't give him a lot of value. And a great rotation to the top. Immediate move onto Sylvanas, and they get first blood and a kill. So, neat little play here. And I have to admit that I personally think, if you would nail me down and tell me, alright, you gotta bet on one of them and your life depends on it, I would probably say that the blue team would be the favorite for me right now. By a very small margin, don't get me wrong, but the performance that we just had in the previous series from them looked absolutely fantastic. And while Sweden, the first seed from Sweden, is obviously extremely strong as well and has a lot of top-notch players, I just felt that we had a bit more sync on the side of the blue team. But, of course, we are going to find out right now how it's going to work out for them. But at least initially, it's the aggression that comes from the blue team that allows them to get a second kill. So they're eliminating Garrosh and take a small advantage now in experience. And are, of course, also having an easier time taking the mercenary camp out at the bottom of the map, which immediately happens. In the meantime, we have all the way up at the top still some pressure as, well, each team obviously was initially locking in one camp. It's a bit tricky for Thrall to get stacks together. There's a very fluid movement between the lanes now between the teams, and it's not really that 4-1 traditional split that we typically get, but it makes it more difficult for Maka, which is of course to an extent also intended by their opponents. For the blue team, camps claimed. Over on the red team side, we're seeing the exact same things. And yeah, all the way up at the top, Root against Wooby. Chen, our panda, on level 1 with the freshest ingredients. Oh yeah, as a real connoisseur, only the best ingredients for the best meals here. Aura being chosen here by Arthurs on level 4. Side laner, again, he could have gone into a more aggressive build with Rune Tap on 7 and having, careful, and having the more aggressive variation of the Aura play on level 4. Decided not to, so yeah, with that we have the first objective up, and instantly a bit of a poke by the blue team, able to get Hanzo in action. Hanzo obviously fantastic here, and him, oh, can they get the kill? Yes, Sylvanas gets Hanzo. Not aiming on the immortal with this one, and that's kill number 3 for the blue team. Oof, blue team actually with some insane start here. 3 kills to 0. And now they're taking the halftime show with a pretty decent lead. That's kind of nice. Red team is struggling a bit in the early stages, so this should be an easy immortal now for the blue team. And then of course it's a question of how much damage they can actually do with it. But their opponents are at least limiting the shield as best as they can and get it down to around 50, actually more than that, 40%. So well done, 7000 HP on the shield. Again, it's not nothing, but it's not going to be a big problem here, at least you would assume so. Maybe they can break through the wall, get some damage in on the fort, but I would be a little bit shocked to see them destroy the entire thing. 3 stacks for Thrall. Maka needs 15 to get to the first quest reward. Works in another one as they're starting the push, and our Nubarak is also moving in. Skork gets immediately attacked. They try and dive towards the top, but doesn't. There's also still Garrosh to consider. Need to stay away from him as best as you can. Wooby is buying a lot of time for the team here. Yeah, very nice. But the team is trying to help out, and damn, even the wall might not fall. That immortal defense is quite strong. So, job well done. Thrall is now sitting at 7 stacks, so definitely worked a few more in. We have down at the bottom of the map a slight attack against Chen, but all in all considered, blue team didn't really get too much out of this. They opened the wall up at the top. I mean, congratulations. The fort itself did take some damage, but I think that was actually from... Was that from Thrall's lightning bounce? Was that what's happened there? But yeah, not really a lot of damage done. So there is a bit of an advantage in experience for the blue team. But yeah, not really too significant. Teams taking 1 camp each. And the red team, of course, still waiting for the first kill in this one. Nubarak also slowing this down a little bit. Brightwing the only one here, but you always have to account for Sylvanas. Whenever she's there, things are starting to get a bit more annoying, and that's exactly what we're seeing happening at the top lane. So, easy wall to be grabbed, and this is basically the exact amount of damage that was done earlier from their opponents. But that's a nice one. Very nice lockdown on Tracer, and that is kill number 4. So the blue team off to a fantastic start. They take Tracer down. They have some stacks for Make. He's currently at 8, so if he dies, he loses 6. But so far, Thrall wasn't threatened too much. Next objective is coming up, and with a bit of diligent soaking, we should actually get a heroic ability for the blue team, with plenty of time to spare here. For their opponents, this is actually pretty annoying. Yeah, if they can get Brightwing here is a bit different, but once that level 10 is in, you have to give up the halftime show, essentially. So, yeah. Down at the bottom of the map, we still have Arthas holding the lane. He wants to get the minion experience, which is exactly what he currently does. And we have over on the left side also the mercenary camp claimed, so even more XP ticking in, and there are the heroic abilities. So the red team has started to go straight up on the attack, because they know that's the only window they have. Tracer gets rooted. Or cocooned, and they're going to try and just simply root her into the ground, and Nubarak misses the timing. Yeah, that's a bit of a annoying play here. So Skork misses the timing on the stun, and that's why Tracer gets out. That also wasted a little bit of time that they could have used to try and take the Immortal down. Hanzo is now taking care of it. But basically the red team is going to get their own heroics. They try and go for Chen. And they might actually get that kill. Sundering is out, and Wooby still survives. More stacks for Make. He's sitting at 9, but this was a very solid defense by the red team. And they are essentially able to now come into the objective just after the halftime show. And try and see if they maybe can win this one after all. The advantage is there, but it's not that massive. So there is still a shot. Oh, especially now that they're trapping Max Passion. And even with him popping the army, there is the first kill in the game for the red team. So, well done. Wooby and friends are taking down Arthas, and all of a sudden they are again in a great place where Tracer is starting to take the objective on, goes straight up for the Immortal, and of course Hanzo is attempting to poke from a distance. They're still a bit ahead on this, but whew, this is starting to get a little bit annoying, I would assume, for the blue team, because they had a great start into the game, and then the second Immortal comes out, and all of a sudden it backfires. So, right now, we have... Oh, beautiful attack against Garrosh. Can't quite get the kill. There comes an arrow from Hanzo, though, but they can't quite follow up on this. So they still have the cocoon against Chen. Could get a stun, but he kicks away, and it is the red team that wins objective number 2. So, yeah, very annoying for the blue team. But this is fantastic. Getting a quick kill in on Tracer with the perfect timing, just as the Immortal is about to appear on lane, is amazing. And they got 16 stacks now on Thrall's level 1. So, for now, Make is doing much, much better here than he did in the game against Team Russia. And this is giving him his first reward. So now he gets additional damage out that he can use. And this should actually be a fairly easy one at the bot lane. So, yeah, this one gets taken out without any problems whatsoever. It's most of the top lane where they got to be careful. Brightwing is jumping in here too, but Anubarak is slightly... Oh, Arthas, no! Gets the army, the heals! Is it going to be enough? Max Passion survives! No way! The army keeping him alive for now, but then Whoopi isolates Arthas again, and this is going to be too much for him. Max Passion is going to fall eventually. No amount of death coils and plays can help you through that. So 2 kills for the red team, and both of them against Arthas. Sylvanas at 110 stacks now, by the way. But yeah, kind of getting a little bit wild over here. And, I mean, kudos for the red team. So they're starting to work a few kills in finally. Shen is at the bottom of the map, but he was a big part of why they were able to take Arthas down. Now, as long as they can't push for that 4, that's not going to be that big of a deal. But there's also the bot lane that is completely neglected, as Arthas is just now starting to move over to try and deal with Chen. So, some damage on those forts soon. And they are even in experience. So, this could be another pretty close series between the teams here. At least when we're talking about the power levels, this should be fairly close. Both of the teams with absolute top-notch players with years of tournament experience. Some former HGC players as well. Now level 13 talents for both. And Whoopi, so far still fine. Has the Keck, by the way. Could use it, doesn't even have to. Completely unfazed by all of this. Just sits there and is like, yeah, well, I don't care. I'm gonna be fine. 17 stacks now for Thrall. I mean, if Thrall makes it, if Thrall completes the quest, if he doesn't die, doesn't lose stacks, this could be a huge asset. It's already a nice tool now that he has the first quest reward done. So good for him. But if he makes it all the way, then ooh, we might be in for a very bad experience for the red team. Anubarak out, gets the stun also. Skog has to move away a little bit. Oh my god, Sven! The arrow from Hanzo, and they still cannot get that kill. They still can't get that kill. Wild. Absolutely wild. 20 stacks now for Thrall and more poke happening. But they just can't get the kills. And poor Arthas is gonna get slapped around time and time again. 3 kills against Team Sweden. And all 3 kills against Arthas. Boy, that must be annoying. If you're Arthas right now, you hate your life. It's like, can somebody else die, please, as well? Just a solidarity death, just to not make me feel so bad. But yeah, right now he's the only one that is getting murdered. Has the top damage, by the way. Arthas is at 27,000 damage. So, yep, he's at least doing pretty okay on that. 23,000 for Tracer. So Arthas is essentially trading his life for lots and lots of damage and is now also back to business. No halftime show victory for either one yet, as Hanzo is still poking this out and also racks up, of course, the numbers. But alright, with that we're now having 20 stacks as mentioned for Thrall. It's going to be interesting to see how much Make can do here. The triple front lane is definitely working quite a lot better for them than it did last time that he tried go for Trash Lightning. But they have to be very cautious here now too. So gets another hit in, pokes a bit against Malfurion. Arthas is getting a shot in on Sven for just a moment. There's also a bit of a trap at the top, as he's just waiting for a rotation. They're essentially baiting with Chen. Oh, and Sylvanas! The rotation down to the bottom as Sylvanas gets killed. So that's a neat little start. And with a 5 versus 4 now in favor of the blue team, let's see what they can do here. Hanzo's, of course, immediately going for the Immortal, as he should. Everybody else is fighting it out at the top. They have Tracer again, Cocoon. Chen trying to do his best to save her, and obviously Azzy was able to get away now. But they still have a bit of a window where they can attempt to take the Immortal down, at a minimum win the halftime show, and this one is, of course, an easy one. Halftime show already taken, 6 kills to 3 now, all in all. And they might be able to get the entire objective. Arthas is taking care of the top lane, locks the experience in, and makes sure that the lane is not pressuring against the fort. And now it's just a race. And it seems like the blue team is going to win this with a pretty significant margin. This time the Immortal is going to be much, much stronger, exceeding 50% of a shield. So great for them, and the push is coming through the bottom of the map. Blue team also with level 16 talents. Slightly faster than their opponents, which obviously gives us a synergy for Thrall with Thunderstorm. Epicenter for Nubarak on level 16. And now the full 5-man down at the bottom of the map, as Max Passion is the one anchoring the play on the side, making sure that Garrosh doesn't get too easy of a flank in, or one at all. And that's going to be the fort. Fort is going to be destroyed, 100%. You can't save this one. It's already too late in the game. But the damage against Tracer. Yeah, Chen is in. Could go for the Kek. Max Passion is trying to move out. Cocoon against Sylvanas here. They try to go for Garrosh at the bottom of the map. And they drop him. Hanzo gets him completely, but there's a beautiful root against Brightwing, and that eliminates the Fruit Fly. Hanzo is dead too. They went way too hard in that choke point, and now they're getting punished for it. Thrall is still moving out. Mark is trying to protect the stacks here. Call was made to simply rush away as much as they can. And there is stack number 24 for Macke and his Thrall. Now, the Immortal has in the meantime broken through the wall at the bottom of the map and is actually going to get some damage on the keep too. Both teams still on even experience. Shen pressuring at the top, but that's not too bad. I mean, honestly, losing the heroes, that's a problem. But at least they got the damage in here. And yeah, can they save that fort at the top lane? Thrall, again, gotta be very, very careful. Brightwing is coming in to the rescue, but I think the fort is gonna fall, yeah. Fort is down. But to be quite honest with you, if Macke is able to get those 5 missing stacks and the red team is not able to take him down and remove some of them, then this could become nasty. Already in team fights, the blue team is looking good, but this could be really problematic. Because it's not only the damage increase that you're getting, but also the hero, the prioritization on heroes is another massive tool. You can poke the opponent down, and then Hanzo can follow up on it. You can get some extra stuns in. So while the map is slowly opening up and both teams are down to 1 fort, this is still pretty big. Garrosh is looking for some pressure, but can't get the flank in. It's one of the things that I really like about the blue team too, that they always have somebody at the side protecting the flank. They do that just consistently. Thrall is by now the top damage dealer in the game. So even with the first quest reward only, he is already doing really well here. Another stack for Macke, 40,000 damage by now. And again, just stay back, play it slow, get those stacks in and keep poking. Whereas for Team Sweden, it's a bit more annoying. And by the way, Tracer in particular is going to absolutely hate it for Thrall to complete that quest, because once that he's done that, she is going to take damage over and over again. And it will put pressure on Malfurion, of course. And Malf is not going to like that either. So now the next Immortal is up. That's exactly where you want to have those shots. Hanzo with big Immortal damage is already coming in. And with both teams now on level 18, closing in on 19, there's no danger of anybody reaching a Storm talent early on. So yeah, 50-50. Small advantage even for the blue team with this, as everybody is now again trying... Oh, careful. Yeah, Brightwing getting some experience at the bottom of the map, but as I was about to say, everybody is angling for a good move into the fight. Good positioning too. So they're taking down the Shaman. That's the first step. Brightwing hugging the fort at the bottom. And Hanzo could unleash an arrow or two, but here comes the red team. And there's going to be that fight that we've been talking about. So, flanking in as we speak. A little bit more damage coming from Thrall as he's targeting Tracer specifically. But the team is able to get away. Who knows? If they actually draw this out, we might get level 20 after all. But yeah, we might get that level 20. 230 stacks for Sylvanas. A little side note here. Yeah, Sylvanas at 238. Macke, oh, I mean, you can really see him stepping forward for that lightning. He always wants to hit it and always wants to be very careful that he doesn't overdo it. Because if he steps out once when they're trying to bait him and trap him, this could be a disaster. At the top, Arthur's again getting attacked. Macke now on 28 stacks. Guys, he's getting there. They're trying to get Chen though. Sundering! And he He kicks away. Cocoon on Malfurion gets burned down by Tracer immediately. And now essentially all of the ults are being popped. Sylvanas is still at the bottom of the map, but the blue team realizes that they have an opportunity to go for the Immortal and at least dish out damage, if not take the entire thing. And they nearly have it. And talking about nearly having it, we have 29 stacks now for Thrall, but Arthas gets caught again. Gets a beautiful Howling Blast out against 2. Max Passion! No ult, but the heals. Quest completed for Thrall. Thrall completes his quest. 51,000 damage. And from here on out, he is going to... Did he just get 3,000 damage with a single... What? Did I just see that correctly? That he just got 3,000 damage with a single hit, and then he gets targeted? Macke! Oh, can they save him? Oh, Thrall is on the run. Chen wants him. The hits keep coming. Garrosh is gone. Brightwing is gone. Macke is dead. Thrall falls. 57,000 damage. Mad numbers. But now he lost some stacks. He's actually done. Sorry. So yeah, he's still fully set here. 8 kills to 8, but Arthas dies and the red team is just cleaning house. They nearly lost the objective, but now they have the shot with Sylvanas to push at the top. And they are absolutely crushing this here. Sylvanas at 250 stacks now, so she has a quest reward. We have only 2 heroes alive for the blue team. And it is the first seed from Sweden, the red team, that is going for the first keep of the game. Yeah, beautiful, well played, and they're also going to get an Immortal now. Wow. This is nasty. The blue team actually got a lot of the things that they really wanted here in the last few fights, and then it was just that one team fight that absolutely flipped it against them. Big damage coming from Thrall, it didn't even matter. Now we have 20 on both sides. We have the blue team with keep lost, and the Immortal is now moving down through the bottom of the map. It's going to be tough for them here. It's really going to be tough. So, as we speak, we have our second seed from Sweden, the blue team, setting up for the defense. The fort obviously will be taken down one way or another. They're just hoping to slow it slightly and maybe get the shield reduced. But this could cost the blue team their second keep as well. We're now 21 minutes in, so the Immortal hits hard. Doesn't have a big shield and will go into melee mode very, very soon. But this is still tricky. Now, the good news is that Thrall, obviously... I mean, the damage output from Thrall right now is absolutely absurd. Have you actually checked that? Have a look when he gets another lightning in. How much damage this actually does to them. I'll put the numbers up again for damage. 61,000. And now just one connect. 1,000 damage right on this one. Marker comes in again. It's going to hit the next one. And another 3,000 that he just got. It's insane. Gets nicely healed out though, for now. But the poke over time will be a problem. The issue is that everybody else is just falling apart here. So Nubarak is dead. Then we have Hanzo barely jumping out. The poke still costing them a lot, and at least the Immortal is taken down. But the core is fully open. We have all of the keeps destroyed. And the red team is still in a numbers advantage with the 5 versus 4 here. Hanzo at 69,000. Thrall just keeps poking like a madman, and it doesn't seem to matter in the slightest. The shield is coming out over and over again here, and it is just too much for them to handle. So Purifying Brew in for Chen on 20. We also got Serenity. Thrall gets popped like a pimple, and that is likely going to be game. In the 5 versus 3, it doesn't really seem like we're going to have any opportunities now for the blue team to bring this back to defend the core and make this happen. Max Passion nearly falls. The Winions alone, the catapults, they claim it. And that is the red team with the lead in the best of 5 series. GG. I hope all of you are enjoying the Nations Cup, especially now that we're going into the top games here just after the group stage. Guys, a quick reminder, we're keeping Heroes Esports alive. We've done so for the last 7 years, ever since Blizzard abandoned HGC in the esports scene. But in order to do that, we're also dependent on support and on campaigns like the one we're currently running with Opera GX. And this is one of the easiest campaigns ever, and it is completely free. So if you enjoy the coverage here, if you would like us to host more events like the one you're currently watching, or Meta Madness and the Banshee Cup, all the other tournaments that we've been hosting, then please check the description of the video. All that you gotta do is download Opera GX, which is a browser, and simply watch 1 or 2 YouTube videos on the browser, maybe use it for some general browsing, and that would already help us. Don't like it? No problem, can uninstall it afterwards, but it really would go a long way to support us here on the channel and to help us create more events in the future. So take that 1-2 minutes that you need in order to do that and help us out. Thank you very, very much in advance, and a big shout out to all of you that already have done it. Enjoy the rest of the series. So, map number 2, Infernal Shrines, Sweden against Sweden. The blue team instantly banning out Deathwing. So I guess still targeting some of the side laners here, but actually pretty impressive how the red team turned it around on the first map. And even with Thrall completing his trash lightning and getting big damage out, it did not matter at all. I'm telling you guys, that talent sucks. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy. Even when you complete it, you still lose. So I don't think I've seen a single game in competitive play where the talent was chosen and the team actually won. It's kind of wild. Marco was trying to make it work twice, and to be fair, he actually completed it in a very reasonable time frame this time. And just on the numbers, it great. Fantastic. Every single hit out is like 1,000 damage here, 2,000 damage there, 3,000 there. But then you look at all of the heroes on the other side, and basically all of them either still have a shield or hit points up, so it didn't really mean too much here. We get bans on Maiev and Kerrigan, clearly targeting Gia. So it's not only Whoopi that gets oftentimes targeted when it comes to bans, but after what the red team observed in the previous matches, they are not willing to give Gia any of this if they can somehow avoid it. Now we're going to Infernal Shrines, and we have Blaze as an early pick for the blue team, whereas for their opponents, Whoopi now on a Hogger. And then we get Falstad played by the red team as well. And then a really nice turn here. So maybe for the blue team a little bit too much to handle after all. Looked good early game. Got a lot of good kills in too. But then as the game continued, as we entered the mid game, the late game, you could really see that the blue team was picking up, the red team was picking up more and more steam and just did the works. Blaze and Tyrael. So if Tyrael goes for Sanctification here around the shrines, then we have essentially your double layer of defense with the Blaze getting the bunker into play. And then if they sync that properly, they have a lot of tools where they can keep everybody alive for a long time. We get Junkrat for nice poke from outside the shrines as they're fighting for Punishers. And on the bans, I mean, again, you could ban out one of the mages against Makke. They ban Lucio instead, so more so dealing with the supports. Makke has in the past played a lot of Mephisto on this map. He was basically the first that really popularized Mephisto as a pick, not only on Infernal Shrines, but also Tomb of the Spider Queen. And we've just seen that, I don't know, I think it was in this tournament actually, in the group stage, where he also popped that out. So it's one thing that they could theoretically do. If you want to go for some mage power, Gul'dan is of course another good option as well. And for the red team, still need our main tank for Sven. Diablo is banned and Jojo is banned too. So actually they're starting to focus Sven a little bit with ETC and Anduin now being used. So ETC, Slide, Anduin, Light Bomb. We've had a pretty fun Holy World Salvation play going for the bubble, but I don't think we're going to get that here. So yeah, ETC Anduin for the red team, and now the final two picks as we're going into game number 2 of the best of 5 series for the blue team. We still need damage and we need a heal. Rhaegar is the one that helps us out with the lightning shield and the extra heals here, and then in this case Makke is actually not going for one of the mages but instead drops Cassia into the team composition. So with Junkrat and Cassia, they got good damage here. Could again play also with the Valkyrie of course if they wanted to. We've seen some pretty crazy Valkyrie plays, especially from the Russian team in the previous series. But depending on how you want to play, this Ball of Lightning is also going to do lots of damage. And yeah, so we'll see how Makke is actually deciding to play this one out. Final pick is Orphea, so we at least get one mage in the game. And with that, we're set up for a second map in the best of 5. Currently, the red team in the lead, so let's see what the blue team can pull off on our second map. Infernal Shrines, the blue team, the second seed from Sweden, over on the left, now down 1 map in the best of 5 series. Berghold on Rhaegar, we got Skog on Tyrael, Makke is playing Junkrat for the blue team, and we have Max Passion on Blaze. Gia is the one playing Cassia, so I actually swapped heroes around a little bit and put Makke on Junkrat. Over on the right side, we have Hogger played by Sven. So it's actually kind of interesting. Whoopi is all of a sudden finding himself on ETC. Azzy on Orphea. Captain Rex on Falstad with Frequent Flyer as the level 1 talent. And then Galne Gulnar on Anduin. So swapping some of the picks around for both players, and then the immediate pause here, this time by the red team. Yeah, today is pause day apparently. Seems like somebody disconnected from the game, so hopefully Orphea is going to reconnect quickly. So from the looks of it, it actually seems that Azzy was just restarting the game for some reason. It seemed a little bit intentional that we had him reconnect, but yeah, if you have to, then this is obviously the time to do it early on. Still the 5 versus 5 brawl in the middle of the map now, and by now it's all about Falstad getting his stacks in again. Super important, of course, when you play this. Nice scaling also into the late game. Max Passion is quickly up at the top. And yeah, the main tank ETC Wooby. So I assume he learned from one of the best, learned from Breeze a little bit, who was always an absolute menace with ETC. But let's see how that works out for him. Wooby obviously also playing a lot of ETC at the side lane, especially during the HTC days. Back then you would oftentimes draft ETC early and then decide mid-draft whether you want to use him as a main tank or a side laner. But it kept you flexible. This case though, Wooby goes down. The cap goes to the blue team. And they were looking even for an additional kill. Couldn't get that. But that's a nice start again for the team on the left side of the map. And to be absolutely fair, as I already explained in the draft, it really seemed the mid and the late game were where the red team started to shine. And that early on it wasn't necessarily their territory. But for now at least, I would assume that the blue team is quite happy with how all of this started out. Middle of the map, Blaze against Hogger. Sven hoggering up for them. And Falstad also with really good stacks. I mean, Captain Rex has to be a bit careful. But he has to be very careful. Oh my god. Somebody likes to live a life on the edge. He was one hit away from being killed, yeah, I'd say. But boy, at least he made it. So now we have level 4 talent. That's actually a pretty big lead in experience. I think some of this is at least going to be negated now. But the blue team is pulling heavily ahead in experience. So yeah, nicely done. Falstad with 30 stacks. So halfway on his way to get the first quest reward. And thankfully some of the experience has now been picked up on the lanes. So the red team is catching up. That would have been insane having a 1 level lead at that moment in time. But there's the next potential slide in the middle. We'll be creating a bit of space for them. Down at the bot lane, Junkrat getting attacked. Marka needs to be very, very careful against Captain Rex. The auto attacks might not quite be there just yet. But that could happen then any moment later. Oh boy! Yeah, not even close. And ETC is able to take down Rhaegar in the middle. So while Falstad made it, Thierry was actually trying to move in from the top and see if he can get a connect on him. But yeah, Falstad is out, still alive, and now flies back down to the bottom of the map to secure his team the experience. They of course are hoping to also make it a bit faster towards level 7. But the shrine is now active in the middle. And every single wave that Falstad takes is also going to give him additional stacks. So 37, 39 stacks for now. Doesn't have the first quest reward unlocked yet for shrine number 1, but still he is very, very close to pick up some additional auto attack damage. But it seems that at least for now Team Sweden in blue is a little bit ahead. ETC, Anduin is trying that pull too late, so with ETC gone and the main tank eliminated and the blue team already in the lead on the objective in the first place, we're having the red team slowly falling back here. Yeah, won't be able to do a lot. Well, Skog is out of mana, but they're taking this one anyways. So this one is 100% going to be taken by the blue team, and now just a question of how much damage they can actually do. Falstad is then immediately falling back down to the bottom of the map in an attempt to deal with Marka. Everybody is splitting. Mid lane attack is not going to be too brutal. Falstad is actually saying hello here, and is trying to help out with the defense. Can always fly back down to the bottom of the map. The cooldown should be ready again. But yeah, they're taking the minions out over here, so this is going to mean Falstad some extra stacks. But then he still needs to move down to the bottom of the map, or somebody does, in order to make sure that the fort is not taking too much damage. And it's actually Orphea that comes in first. So Azzy is already starting to slap them a little bit here. Falstad more interested in dealing with the minion wave, as you might imagine. And Wooby is also just going to slide away. So it's 2 kills to 1. Still a bit of an experienced lead for Team Sweden. We're nearly 5 minutes into the game, and Falstad has his first quest reward unlocked. So more auto attack damage for him, waiting for the 160 stacks now. While all of this plays out, we're having Hogger controlling the top lane. Red team trying to close the experience gap. And level 10 abilities soon coming up. But we're also going to find out how exactly Tyrael wants to play this. Yeah, they would love to go for Rhaegar here. Captain Rex is all alone at the bottom of the map, so he needs some help. And I said help, not Anduin. Help, not another liability. I mean, come on, dude. So yeah, don't make Falstad's life any harder than it is already. Send somebody down there that's actually useful. So yeah, 10 is close. Yes, this camp you won't be able to save this one. With 10 being this close for the blue team, won't be able to do too much here, just trying to stay around and fight for that camp. But at least Hogga is getting value at the top of the map and is taking the towers down. Yeah, jet propulsion misses. There's the ball of lightning, by the way, for Cassia. So no Valkyrie in this game. But we get sanctification, so no aggressive performance through judgment and trying to set things up. It's more targeted towards the shrine fights, where we now also have, again, bunker, sanctification, and all of those layer tools to keep the team alive. Captain Rex is gonna have to try and get away from this. Rhaegar, yeah, they're actually shutting him down all the way. They really wanted Falstad, and they get him. Even bait out the gust cooldowns, that's another big one. Gust cooldown actually much higher than the death timer itself. And that was a nice move by Team Sweden from the left side. I keep doing this, by the way. I'm basically set in my head to try and call them the blue team and the red team. But every now and then, you know, you immediately go back to the team names, and it's just like, ha ha ha, Team Sweden. I mean, the jokes that were made in on the live stream alone, you can't imagine, where people just went in the entire time. It was like, haha, I think that Sweden is going to win. Sweden is in the lead. So, yeah. What? Like, again, it's going to happen throughout the entire series, obviously, but, oh, for me, it's the same. I'm so used to just go automatically for the team names, and then look up at the scoreboard, I'm just like, ah, oh, damn. So, but yeah, it's what it is, I guess. As I said, for Sweden fans, it's amazing because they are guaranteed to have one Swedish team in the round of 8. Now, to be fair, if you look at the two teams, I mean, think about this for a second. Look at the two teams that are currently playing, and think about that one of them is not going to make it into the round of 8. That's actually insane. That's actually crazy. Like, these teams are all so stacked, and it just gives you an idea of how stacked our round of 8 is, on how many top teams there are, that these two teams have to fight in the last chance qualifier to try and get a spot here. Kinda nasty. But, well, we got level 10 abilities, as mentioned. 13 is also close, for the blue team at least. There's the Shockwave and the Ancestral as a quick answer. But once again, it is the team in blue that is getting the lead on the Punisher. Now, they're currently down one map in the series, but at least map number 2 is looking very, very good. They have now the second objective, and they can push for the bottom fort. Falstad is pushing at the top lane a little bit. He has 99 stacks now, and the more stacks he gets, the more auto attack damage we're getting for him. I mean, the better in the long run. But the team is losing ground. They are very likely going to lose the fort at the bottom of the map now. Don't think that they can defend this. Hogga is now trying to come in. Falstad flying down here too, but the fort is already gone. They're still hoping to win the team fight at least, so they're aiming for Skork, and he is easily escaping, using his Eldruins to jump out in the middle of the map, of course. Also an attack coming from Make, as he is trying to get extra damage onto that fort. And the red team is trying to force a couple of fights. Maybe now, Tyrael, can they finally get a kill here? And it doesn't seem like it. Tyrael is still in a position where he is able to move out. There's another Shockwave. And then finally, are they going to get it? Oh my god! Skork just doesn't die. Falstad, after a massive mosh pit, is able to get them a kill on Cassia. Anduin with the bubble, fully bubbling it up, but also Sven died on Hogga, so it's 4 kills to 2, and the blue team is still ahead. Even when they start losing a team fight, they at least get a counter kill. There's good news for at least Falstad, since he was involved in the entire fight and also the action on the lane. That means that he picked up a lot of stacks in the process again. If he makes it to his quest reward, then hey, or let's say to the mythic reward, that would of course be an absolute banger for them. He's very close to 150 now, so this is going to help. But yeah, it is that scaling into the late game that is definitely a huge yeah, well, hope is maybe exaggerating things. It's not like they're that far behind, but it's going to be another big asset for them to use. So they know that from here on out, Falstad is going to play more and more of a role in team fights too. He's now at 9,000 hero damage, and the main reason is that he's been sitting on the side lane the entire time, trying to deal with minion waves. That's also where we're seeing his siege damage excel. But as the game continues and he picks up quest reward number 2 and maybe even the mythic reward, he's obviously going to be way more involved in team fights, and then will be able to get the single target damage out against those frontliners. So, yeah, there's that. Hogger out at the top, alright. Very aggressive moves now also from the blue team. We've seen that in game number 1 already, especially at the beginning. But down here, Captain Rex playing this very, very, very slow. Picks up some extra stacks, and the team fight, the birdie could fly in for it. It's mainly the rest of the team trying to occupy the blue team and giving Falstad a little bit more space to work with, but he has now the second reward. So now that auto attack damage is really solid. And it might in particular be a problem for someone like Tyrael and of course then also Blaze. So now the next little encounter down at the bottom of the map. Both teams close on level 16. We already have the blue team in control of those abilities. Smite the Wicked, and we got the Martial Law. Anduin is going to go for the double pull now. Falstad is following his level 13 up with the Eerie Gust. And for ETC, we get the Showstopper. So, this is going to be pretty big for him. Survivability for ETC, always a fantastic tool, and all of this is kicking in before we are going to the next objective, and this is number 3 now. So Punisher number 3 is now about to be fought for, and yeah, this... no way. No way! Marke isolates Anduin with his Junkrat play, and then it's a kill against the support. That sucks. If you are the red team, you hate your life right now. For the blue team, though, this is the best case scenario. I mean, you're even catching the support and you instantly kill them, playing around the bush here. So yeah, that was awesome. That was really well done by Marke, and it basically gives them another Punisher for absolutely free. So huge performance from Junkrat. And down at the bottom of the map, yeah, there's a 3 versus 1. They're actually going to get this. Mosh Pit, better safe than sorry. Not risking anything here. And yeah, Falstad takes the hit. But that was a nice kill. Punisher is moving through the middle, is going to try and take the fort out. Everybody on the bot lane is already moving back. And Falstad, for example, is now flying towards the middle of the map as well to try and help out. And try to save the fort. Which I guess they can. I mean, they got everybody here now. And with Tyrael gone, the blue team isn't really willing to commit too much to this. So yeah, not too bad. 188 stacks now for Falstad. Ophia, by the way, on level 7 is nearly done with her own quest. And the Gavin experience, essentially from the beginning of the game up to now, has always been on roughly the same level. I mean, it's always around that half level of an advantage that they're playing. More camps now taken down at the bottom of the map. Falstad still doing what he's been doing the entire game and just moving between lanes, getting some assists here also from Hogger, for example. So... yeah, next camp about to be taken. Captain Rex moving down to the bottom of the map, dealing with this one too. Stack, 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 stack. I love the mini quests. I really like them. The mini quests and their impact on the later stage of the game are always kind of cool. So I actually like this a lot. We still have that window of opportunity potentially for the blue team if they're getting the level 20 first. This is also one of the reasons why the teams are this aggressively farming experience, especially Team Sweden on the right side. The red team, simply because they are all trying to go to the next objective with the talent advantage over the opponent, and the faster the red team can negate the advantage that we're seeing for their opponents on the left, the better they are set up for the next objective when Storm Talents could make the difference. So Wooby already sitting over on the left as they are hoping to bait somebody in. I mean, the camp here is not up for another minute, but if they can catch anyone on the rotation now that his mosh pit is up again, they can just simply sacrifice a mosh pit cooldown and say, okay, we're going to get 1 kill out of this, and that's worth it for us. Catapult at the bottom of the map is not going to make it too long. Got some damage in on that wall. And guess who's coming? It's the chicken! Best skin. Pretty much the only skin that is really a proper Falstad skin is that pirate skin. You can always argue a little bit about the tint and the color coordination that you go for, but especially with that dance animation, it is the only skin that is acceptable for a false set. It's just too funny. It's too damn good. So, upgrade for Cassia on level 20 with Infinite Lightning. We also have the Holy Arena for Tyrael, and we get the Farseer's Blessing for Rhaegar. And as you can already tell, it will be a Storm Talent versus Storm Talent fight for the next Punisher. And thus far, Sweden hasn't... the first seed from Sweden, the red team, hasn't won a single Punisher, a single objective. Light of Stormwind is now in. Falstad with the Wind Tunnel. Whoopi with the money pick. And Hoggar, yeah, hasn't chosen yet. Neither is ETC. Hoggar actually coming in with the anger management. But here comes the objective. And let's see if this time they can actually fight for it. Let's see if the red team is finally able to make some plays here. Keep in mind, in game number 1, it was the late game where they started to really pick up steam. Falstad is now flying down and trying to help out. So it's going to be that 5 versus 5 that we've been waiting for quite some time. Orphea already moving in from the top, getting a couple of slaps in. Hoggar pogging, but they have fallen behind on the objective. Shrine minions in favor of their opponents. Hoggar has to move out, and the blue team is just doing a little bit better here. There's also the healing ward on the ground immediately. Red team finally pushing in and trying to take over. But with 31 to 12 stacks, I mean, it seems like a pretty done deal. They take control as best as they can. Anduin, did he just fat finger his ult, or what was the idea here? Maybe he just wanted to empower them to stay on the shrine a bit longer, but whatever the reason was, it didn't really do anything for them. So, Max Passion gets out. Shockwave, not... Oh! That was close. Oh boy. That was way closer than I expected. Oof. That could have been a kill. That could have been a kill here. So, Anduin can pop it again. Cooldown is obviously ridiculous right now. I mean, cooldown is just nasty on that. Totally crazy here. So, yeah. Okay, so as long as they're throwing it out the way that they do, they're going to YOLO that thing out time and time again. There's a camp, by the way, pushing at the top lane. That's the one thing that the red Swedish team has going for them. Wind Tunnel, as they're going for the Punisher. And honestly, they're going to save that. They're going to save that keep with ease, I might add. This up at the top is costing the blue team their wall. And if they don't send some... Okay, they're sending Blaze up. I was just about to say, if they don't send somebody up quickly, then it's going to cost them more than that, because that keep would have taken damage 100%. We're now 18 minutes into the game. We're on level 21, and all that has been destroyed so far are 2 forts. Everything else still standing here. 43,000 damage for Orphea, 48,000 for Cassia. Falstad just doing his thing. And he is slowly getting there. I mean, he is going to get his mythic reward for sure. It's not really a kill-heavy game, but it's also an important one. I mean, if the red team takes it, reverse sweeps are not impossible. We've seen plenty, but phew, they are really difficult to pull off. Okay, nearly a catch there. Talking about catching things, Mac Passion is a little bit low on that. But okay, so with the 4 destroyed in the middle, good job by the Winions. We have now Falstad 17 stacks short of getting the mythic reward. This is definitely something that the red team is going to try and get before they go into the next big fight. It's too impactful. It's a huge reward. The damage output on single targets is just great. But they have a problem as Whoopi gets isolated. So this is a bit of a weird one right now. Hoggar is moving back. Max Passion is eating damage. Whoopi is looking for opportunities. But Falstad doesn't have this quest completed yet. And I am really surprised that the red team is willing to give them these fights. I like the poke, and they're trying to, of course, create an opportunity here. Big opportunity too, but a nice play from Tyrael. The bubble is up. Tyrael saving the day for them. Sven on the run. Where's Anduin when you need them? Blocked by the bunker, and Hoggar is gone. Hoggar is dead. Once more, a kill for the blue team. They're getting the Riptire in, trying to stop them here. Yeah, Falstad, I'm not quite sure if anything would have changed if he had the quest completed already. Probably not, but that was a nice one again for the blue team. Now, Holger will be back for the next objective from the looks of it. It hasn't been announced yet, and he's going to be back in 40 seconds. So this is all lining up quite nicely. Falstad is now doing his thing in the middle of the map for obvious reasons, so just take all of that out. But the last few fights were again ending in favor of the blue team. They're trying to tie the series here. This is, again, single elimination bracket. You lose here, you're out of the tournament. If you're losing this series, you are out. Only the winner advances. 20 minutes in and we have Falstad's quest completed. So now he's really packing a punch on those auto attacks. 300 stacks in, another 125 additional attack damage. Yeah, he's hurting them. He is hurting them a lot. If they can get these fights going. So, objective is up. All of the ults are ready. By the way, talking about ults, Tyrael with such a beautiful ult earlier. Negating what we got from both Orphea and from ETC. But he has that single target damage. Exactly what we just talked about. Sven though, yeah, he gets finally saved. Good wind tunnel too. But the damage output from Falstad, as you can see, is getting a bit absurd. I mean, again, he is crushing it. You saw it in that last fight. He's picking up damage super quickly. They tap the fountain, and this could be a very different fight now for the teams. Moshpit is back up in just a moment. Moshpit is up now, so if Wooby sees a good angle, he could make a play here. Falstad, on the other hand, auto attack after auto attack. Moshpit, it's a zoning Moshpit. And he gets saved by Anduin again as Falstad picks up 5,000 damage in absolutely no time. I mean, seriously, Falstad just picked up 5k in that last fight by just a couple of attacks. Nasty. And for the first time in the game, Team Sweden is actually ahead on the objective. They have the lead here. Now, I'm not saying that they are going to get this one. Anduin's ult back in a moment. Same is also true for Falstad, who's sitting now at Wind Tunnel again. Yeah, here comes the next attack. Gia, careful. And Gia gets murdered. Taken down as Orphea somehow survives and then gets killed by Tyrael a second later. But both Tyrael and Blaze have to move back because Falstad is just a monster. Auto attack after auto attack. Blaze is down. Tyrael is dead. The explosion, annoying, but it doesn't do anything for the blue team anymore. They lost too much, but they are getting their reward at the bottom of the map as the catapult is going for the keep and will take it down. Keep gone. So, big loss for the red team, but they get the objective and they got the kills with it. So, there's an opportunity to now break through that wall, which they essentially have done already, and take a keep out too. Maybe even push this further. Keep in mind, we're now 23 minutes into the game, so this is going to hurt one way or another, and it's a window of 20 seconds until we have all the heroes for the blue team back in play. Rhaegar, nah, couldn't follow up on this, but they're baiting this obviously towards the middle. But as you can see, the keep is gone. Keep is gone, and now the core is up, so we're already starting with Cassia, and they're attempting to jump on her here. Looking for kills more so than anything else, and it seems like they're not willing to risk anything. They had to send Orphea back in order to deal with that bot lane, taking the catapults out here, so instead we're now having Falstad fly towards the middle to try and take another mercenary camp. Falstad started the top fight with 29,000 damage. He's at 48,000 now. Just to give you guys a little bit of an idea of how this is currently working with his auto attack damage now being fully stacked with this level 1. He picked up nearly 20,000 damage in that fight. So, crazy stuff. And then just look at his siege damage and you get a pretty good picture of how valuable Falstad currently is. He's the primary target for the blue team from here on out. Blue team needs to try and take this out. Core is at 84% by the way. So, yeah, red team decided to not push for it too hard. But they might have had a chance to actually drop it. Talking about dropping things, now we have Hogger at the bottom of the map getting mad value for the red team. Nearly destroying the fort down here with the mercenary camp. But it's going to be a very, very different game now in these team fights for the blue team. Because they have to play around Falstad a lot. Or hope that they just get a quick kill against somebody else. If they can, for example, blow Wooby up, I mean, hey, even better. Camp at the bot lane, still with a little bit more damage. Blue team is still in the lead when it comes to kills, generally speaking. It's obviously kind of funny also that both of the teams have now lost the keep. And that's the nice thing about having good macro play and setting these camps up earlier. Because if the blue team hadn't done that, then we would still see all the keeps on the side of their opponents. And they would be in a much more precarious situation. But so far, it's working nicely. Little party push. Oh, Rhaegar. Yeah, if Rhaegar would have made that move, that could have been a disaster. But in this case, he also double checks what's happening in that bush. They go for their camp. We have Orphea at the bottom of the map dealing with the catapults as she needs to. The problem, of course, that we still have for both of the teams when we're talking about these keepless lanes is that on the top lane, the red team still has a fort. On the bottom lane, the blue team still has a fort. So it means catapult after catapult is pushing against you, and you have zero counter pressure with your own catapults because you haven't managed to even take a fort out on that lane. So, huge issue. But we're still waiting for the next objective to be announced. 83,000 damage now from Cassia. I mean, she's easily the top damage in the game. She's absolutely murdering the numbers here. Look at Junkrat. He's also super high up. 76,000. And here comes the next Punisher. Shrine at the bottom of the map. So small advantage already just from positional view for the blue team because they have a fountain nearby. Blaze gets forced into a bunker though. And has to jump out very quickly. A lot of cooldowns, or well, not a lot, but some cooldowns already burned here. As we're now seeing the red team pushing into the shrine. Position initially taken by their opponents. Yeah, Hogger at the side. Falstad gets still some nice damage in. And ETC, ETC already on the point. Very early wind tunnel here, by the way. So really early wind tunnel play from Falstad, maybe burning that cooldown too quickly. Either way, now both of the teams again with the Riptire coming out. Torga eating some damage, big lead for the blue team. The bubble is there, Anduin with some really nice positioning, allowing the team to heal up. But can they get kills? Because the objective is not looking good for the red team. They need a little bit more here. Orphea gets attacked. In comes the Shockwave. It's a mosh pit, baby, against 3. And it's a double kill. Easy double. Probably a triple kill here. As Cassia and Tyrael fall. The Punisher is at least taken. But Hult gets slapped into the ground. Top side 50% on the core. Both of the cores are actually losing hit points. Down at the bottom of the map, we're having the next attack with catapults, and it seems like the red team thinks they can end this quickly. Red team is moving in. They have Falstad coming in. 49%. Catapults and the Punisher. But it seems like it's a 2-0 lead. It seems like it's a 2-0 lead. 0% against 29 as the red team takes the victory on Infernal Shrines. GG. the insta Deathwing ban again. Now the red team is in a 2-0 lead now, so this is match point for the blue team to advance to the tournament, to the second phase of the Nations Cup. They would have to now win 3 games in a row, which is absolutely nasty, of course. And game 2, the red team had so much trouble for the longest time, where we had the blue team just doing well in every single team fight, winning objective after objective. And towards the end, honestly, it was Whoopi's Mosh Pit that did it. They got 3 kills out of that ult from ETC. And in the meantime, catapults were already attacking the core on both sides. Both sides lost their shield and lost core points. And Team Sweden on the right side, in red, they actually decided that they wouldn't even try to defend. They just said, okay guys, let the catapults go for the core. All we have to do is to make sure that we're going to jump in right now and kill it faster. And well, that's what they did. So it was really well done. The red team just jumped on the opponent's core. It was at that point higher in HP than their own and just said the catapults and the Punisher, they're going to be too slow. We can burn this down quicker. Probably also the right choice, because if they moved back to try and defend, they might have actually lost their own core against the Punisher to begin with. So it was not quite sure that they could have defended in the first place. And second of all, even if they defend, their core is insanely low, and they give the opponent another shot at fighting back into the game and maybe even backdoor them. So after that mosh pit coming in and then just instantly jumping onto, after the mosh pit coming into the game again by winning that fight and killing 3 heroes, and then instantly coming onto the core with a quick jump there was absolutely crucial for them. Now we're going to Brax's holdout, and we got Urel and Gul'dan. So with Chromie being targeted on the bans, that leaves Urel up for Whoopi, and he's going to have a blast on the top lane. I mean, again, one of his best heroes in general. Skog gets at least Johanna. Maiev and Genji were both banned out, both of course very mobile on the map. Now that we're heading into game number 3, 20 heroes have been banned out. Can't be played again because they've already been played before, so they're unavailable. But Gul'dan, a solid pick. Rexa, Max Passion going up against Urel, topside. And then we get Jia on Li Ming, and oh boy. Jia's Li Ming is what brought the blue team here. They faced off against the Russians earlier, and what a series that was. Absolutely unbelievable game. And Jia is a big part of why it ended the way that it did. His Li Ming performance, amongst other things, was just crazy. So, here we go. Ana gets banned because they do not want to deal with a nano-boosted Li Ming. And Azion Gul'dan is going to be in the 4-man. Urel is going to be at the top. And then it's just a question of what is Sven going to play here. With Deathwing banned out, obviously also what we're going to get for damage. In the last game, outside of the mosh pit that we saw from ETC, one of the big game changers really for the red team was also the damage output from Falstad, which of course just skyrocketed after he completed his mythic reward. And Oriel getting banned is also a pretty decent one. Some good batteries here where you can generate hope, of course. But still, main tank. What are we going to see? Going up against Johanna is not going to be easy anyways. But what's the move now from Sweden? Could go for triple frontline, of course, as well, to try and deal with this. Would run straight into that Condemn on the other hand. And, of course, that potential punish on level 4. But we get Stukov and we get Varian. Alright. So, Gul'dan damage after Varian. And what is Captain Rex going to play? I guess we can all assume that it's going to be... Oh. Guillotine Suljin. Probably not. But, yeah. I'm honestly not a fan of Guillotine. I really, really hate it when anybody goes in and picks Suljin with Guillotine. It always just feels crazy to me. Yeah, Testingo is just so much better if you really want to win the game. Guillotine is fun, don't get me wrong. But keep that for the quick matches. Double mage now for Sweden Blue. Sweden's second seed from Sweden. With Li Ming and Mephisto. And on the right side of the map, the final pick. Again, they need a bit of damage. They're already playing with a taunt here. They got Urel too. I guess you could also go for the triple melee and then just try to get, I mean, maybe someone like Kerrigan in, you know, just anybody that can follow up with more stuns, more CC and damage. And then have Gul'dan dish out more. But they go for Zagara, so they have even more wave clear. Wave clear is enormous for the red team. Is that going to be enough to win Braxis? It's their map choice, of course, since the blue team went for first pick, first ban. But this is match point, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if they can grab it. We are going to Braxis holdout, our third map in the best of 5 here at the grand final of the last chance qualifier. The blue team on the left so far without a single victory in this series. Coming off a big win in the semi-final and have just gigantic performance. They are currently not able to break through here. We have Marco and Mephisto, Max Passion on Rexa. Jia is playing Li Ming, Berghult, Lucio, and Skog is on Jojo. On the right side, the first seed from Sweden in red with Sven on Varian, Galnagulnar on Stukov. We get Whoopi on Urel, one of his strongest. Azzy on Gul'dan, and Captain Rex on Zagara. And obviously, right now, it is the big question. Can they win the series with the 3-0? Great performance by them here. And I gotta say, I am really impressed by how well they are dictating the late game. The one big problem that I think the red team has is that thus far, at least the early games weren't really their strongest suit. They are struggling a bit in the early game. Too many times that the opponent is able to get quick kills in against them and start to take a lead. But they're always able to deliver in the late stages. So this is definitely a big strength. And if they can work on that, then they're going to become even more terrifying. And what do you know? They go for an early game kill against Rexa. Jia nearly gets a counter kill against Zagara. And his Li Ming performance is obviously crazy, as we've seen in the semifinals. But now this is a good first blood move for the red team. And with the beacons starting to pop up now, some damage also on structures. So slowly burning the towers down a bit. Bot lane might be a concern. Somebody will have to help Varian. His wave clear is essentially negative. So they need to do something. Gul'dan needed. And Varian is also moving down. Stukov is moving down here too. So it's going to be taunt from Sven into Stukov lurking arm, and then the damage follow-up on them. Up at the top lane, Rexa now back to business. So it's a 2-3 split for both of the teams from the looks of it, as the beacons are now up, are being fought for. Whoopi is going to be the biggest obstacle at the top of the map now. I mean, again, one of the best, probably the best side laner that Europe has ever seen. And he is just crazy strong. Now, this is all in the HTC days. This is long past, and he definitely doesn't play as much Heroes of the Storm anymore as he has previously. But that experience and yeah, those mechanics might get a bit rusty, but it's all still there at the end of the day. So beacon control established at the bottom of the map for the blue team, and top side we have the red team taking control. And they are starting to burn this wall down. We are getting damage in on the side wall, which has been opened up for vision. And now the first tower is about to fall. So they're looking quite strong here. And it makes it difficult for Rexa and for Liming to deal with it. Whereas down here we have Varian take over, so they're getting progress. It's not a lot of progress, but it's some, it's there. And with Taunt, there's now a chance for Varian to try and flank in and help them to get a kill. Yeah, already hiding a little bit. And moves in. Gets... Oh, misses the taunt. Wow. Gia with an instant reaction. And then we had also Misha react accordingly. But 16% to 0. Not really a big lead or anything. Will be actually getting attacked here. Varian still looking for opportunities, but on cooldown for now. Whereas down at the bottom of the map, Gul'dan actually completes his quest. Great. Nicely done. So even if he dies now, it's not going to be a problem. Quest complete! Time to kill somebody. So they kill Jojo. No feeding from Azzy after all. But they might take control here. Zagara. That was a bit too much for her to handle. And now Whoopi has to try and get out here as well. I mean, Uriel can't deal with 3. Varian is about to say hello again. They still control the bot lane very nicely, and with only Mephisto there, it's now time for Gul'dan to also take some of the structures out. But they're actually getting double control again, and this is a really good move for the red team. They are going to take a significant lead on this, and already have now 36%. It's obviously not a zero-sum game on this one. But 2 kills to 1. And now the double control for the blue team. So they're bringing this back and getting some points for themselves. Might even take the lead here, but Zagara shuts it down topside. That's a pretty fluid game currently. So bottom, top, consistent attacks here. Structurally, it's quite clear that the red team is doing a little bit better. That also comes through the experience advantage that they now have with an early level 7 talent. And this allows them to regain control at the bottom of the map. And will help them to get more points. Or will it? Because with Lucio saying hello, they're actually getting pushed back. That means that it's a 3 versus 2 at the top though, and that is making things really difficult again for both Liming and Rexa. The wall is gone. The wall is gone. Misha also eliminated. And this is full control at the top side for the red team. So down at the bottom of the map, obviously a different story with the numbers advantage leaning in favor of their opponents. The team in blue. We have also now Calamity for Gia. But yeah, the rotation is consistently happening. Now we have Lucio going up to the top. Varian is starting to attack. Instantly came through with a taunt as well and started to dish out some damage. But now Sven is very alone. Very alone. And with Misha going for a stun, he's likely going to die. Lucio is helping the team to chase him down. But they have full control for now on the 2 beacons. So that's a 54% wave that they secured themselves already. And in addition to that, that bottom wall falls as well. So this is the bad news. The blue team might be able to get a kill, but they are still not ahead on the objective, on the progress. And they are also losing more and more of these structures. So the walls are slowly eliminated, which means that once that we're looking at an actual objective for one of the 2 teams, the blue team could lose some ground here. I mean, that fort at the top will soon take damage. Zagara has, yeah, not really gone into anything crazy. No stacks on level 4, for example. But she's now getting the damage in here on the fort. It's just a little bit, but every bit matters. It's kind of funny to me too, by the way, that we're now nearly on level 10 and we still haven't seen a single Zerg wave. So usually those get caught a lot earlier than that. But with a small advantage for the red team, we are very likely going to get a window of opportunity for them where they have rogue abilities and their opponent doesn't. So on the left side of the map, the blue team now trying again to take control here. Zagara at the top. We have a 3-man down at the bottom. And again, is that going to be double control? No. It's a 4 versus 3 at the bottom of the map. Only Rexa at the top side. So yeah, this makes this difficult. And Jojo is at least holding on for now. But here comes level 10. Heroic abilities now. As Urel moves towards the top. We got Horrify. We get Devouring Maw. And yeah, they can't get a kill here. Yeah, but the team is still down at the bottom of the map. And Zagara gets a few more Banelings in. We have Varian now with Warbringer. And we get the massive shove for Stukov. Nothing that they are doing with the window currently. Ardent Defender for Urel. And with the camp claimed a moment ago, the blue team now in possession of their own heroic abilities. And no surprises here. Endurance of Hate, of course, too. Used and missed. Make not able to connect it. Here comes the taunt. And Lucio gets away. Gul'dan, though. Gul'dan gets killed, but the objective, that's a different question. 90% right now. All he needs to do is buy them a little bit more time, and there it is. Full Zerg wave for Team Sweden. 100%. 233 right now. So they are able to get value through the bot lane. Here comes the push. Zagara has to defend on the top. Should be able to do that. Gul'dan dying, of course, making this a little bit less impactful than it could have been. But they still will get damage in on that bot lane fort and have a chance of maybe even taking it out, especially if Gul'dan arrives in time to help them. And once those fountains are gone, holding those beacons is a lot more difficult. Quest completed for Stukov and instantly dies. Quest complete, time to feed. Oh yeah. Problem is not the bot lane, by the way. Varian is now trying to move towards the top, and that's where we're having the rest of the red team trying to destroy the fort. Should be able to make that work. Quest completed for Sven, and Urel was able to help out, but that's a fort gone. So the first fort is destroyed. Granted, it wasn't the fort at the bottom of the map, but they were still able to claim one. Lots of creep spread here, by the way, too. I mean, honestly. At this point, Captain Rex channeling his inner Jaedong and spreading creep wherever he can. Despite the fact that the red team is behind in kills, they are now ahead in structures, and they're also ahead in in experience. Might even be able to get more damage in down here now, because Gul'dan is all alone, burns the minion wave to the ground already. Both teams on level 12. There comes the attack against Varian, still fine, and Wubi, of course, always ready for an assist. Horrify! And bye-bye, Lucio. Lucio is insta-gone. Make gets attacked now too. Gets Maw. Perfect Maw. Zagara is a little bit low, but they can kill Mephisto. Blessed Shield on Zagara. The taunt saves the day. Gul'dan able to take Li Ming out. That's 3 heroes eliminated on the blue team side. And they're gonna make it 4 with Skok getting killed. Half a level advantage, and here's the big opportunity. Rexa, the only survivor of that brawl. The bottom fort about to fall, and they immediately focus their attention on the boss in the middle of the map. Instantly. Level 13 talents in their hands now with extra synergy through the Fell Armor. They're gonna try and take that boss, as both of the forts have been destroyed, and they're gonna be able to claim this one. Big shove coming in. Boss gonna travel through the top lane, and of course we now have the beacons being announced again, so an opportunity for the red team to take a lead here. An even bigger lead than they already have. Both of the forts destroyed, a level advantage. This is looking great for the red team. It's looking, I mean, honestly, it's seriously looking really good for Sweden. I think there's a good chance that Sweden is going to advance out of this series victoriously. The Swedish players have done a fantastic job here. And this is going to be very likely an absolute... I mean, I think it's safe to say at this point that Sweden is going to advance. I don't think that I'm going to risk too much, like, leaning towards that. If I would have to put money on the series, I would say Sweden takes it. 6 kills to 4. Lucio, trying to take 1 at the top at least. Shouldn't really stay too long here, because if he runs into Varian, you already know how this is going to end. So at the bottom of the map, they're now starting to push a little bit and started to attack the wall here too. Here comes the Dorans of Hate, and nice! Stukov killed again. More progression on the beacons. Blue team could try and take the bot lane, and most likely will, but this is still a pretty big wave. And ho, Gia, where's the taunt? Don't even need it! Li Ming is dead. Li Ming gets murdered. Zagara, yeah, she gets away. And look what happens to Jojo. Absolutely getting wrecked here. Barely able to get out. 100% Zerg wave. This time moving through the top as Johanna makes it. But it seems that Rexa just can't hack it in the middle. He gets killed. Zagara's at the bottom of the map still defending. And with nearly level 16, the red team is starting to go for the keep. And boy, with that entire wall already destroyed and Rexa not even be here, I think this is safe to say that the keep is going to fall. Zagara is not with them, but she is going to join soon. And this keep just doesn't stand a chance. They have level 16 talents now. More synergy for Gul'dan with the Rampant Hellfire. Horrify used, but Mephisto dodged it. The problem is that Jojo is low and so is the keep, so this one is gone. No chance for the keep and no chance for Mephisto. He gets murdered by Gul'dan, who wrecks him easily. 42,000 damage for Gul'dan, by the way. And it seems like the red team is on their way to victory. We knew from the start heading into the series that one Swedish team will represent the country in the round of 8. And it seems more and more clear that it's going to be the team in red. The team around Sven, around Wubby, they're looking amazing here. And Team Sweden, the second seed, the blue team, not as impactful here as I expected them to be. A great showing in the last chance qualifier, but it just wasn't enough. The core now down to 60%. Blue team is defending as best as they can. Nice ult against Formake. Can they still turn it? Do they still have a chance here? Can they somehow pull it off? Mark is about to go down. Lucio couldn't save him. Stukov has died again for the 3rd time. It's an endless, massive brawl with Gul'dan now gone. Zagara with damage. She's gonna fall as well. Oh, the triple more. Yeah, both Varian and Urel actually abandoned the rest of the team, and they both said, boys, we're out of here. See you later. So, yeah, they rushed away. 50% on the core. But the blue team, they saved the day for now. They hold on to it. They are able to make it work, at least for the time being, but they're obviously at a severe disadvantage currently. 2 forts destroyed, a keep destroyed too, and crazy times here. So, yeah, right now we have 8 kills to 10, and we have the blue team trying to somehow recover here. To be fair, they're on level 16 talents, so it's even talents for the 2 teams. Both of them sitting tight. With now camps claimed to try and establish a bit of map control. Objective isn't up yet, so nothing really to fight for here. By the way, I have to stress this again. One of the best players on the blue team is Gia, and he writes the money pick. One of the best players on the side of Team Sweden is Wubby, and he writes the money pick. Coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think so. There is... Ooh, Zagara. Okay, Urel needs to come in and help them out. Varian attacked. Dashes out. And Demon Mephisto. Sven is able to escape. Mephisto is low. Big damage again from Gul'dan. But the blue team gets away. A little bit bruised though. They were hoping to get a kill here. And at the end they had to be very careful that they're not losing multiple heroes. That would of course been a total disaster. They are at least able to claim camp after camp, so that's good for them. But they're trailing by a level and doesn't change anytime soon. Boss is still up and they're checking that out too. But yeah, there's the wraparound attempt. Gul'dan. They are trying to claim this now. If they get another objective, then I think that's the... Uh-oh, Lucio, careful. Lucio already in trouble. Gul'dan again with the plays here. does not have his ult currently. A lot of the ults actually on cooldown. And here comes the play once more, this time for Whoopi. And he's able to make it out. Blessed Shield has been used down here too. Again, the reset attempt from Gia. And they get Gul'dan. That's the big one. Gul'dan is down. And now they move in for Zagara, who is also dead. It gets Stukov. It's a triple kill. Guys, the blue team might actually be on their way to turn the series around. Blue team might be able to win this one. Varian got killed at the top, and now they can go for 100% wave, and they will get it. They will get the big wave. So this game, this series is not necessarily over. Here's a big chance for the blue team to bring this back. It looked disastrous, but that fight was everything, because now we got another big objective coming up with 100% on the side of the blue team, plus they're getting a boss too. This is gonna hurt. This is gonna get brutal. And for the red team, I mean, having your opponent's core down to 50% and then all of a sudden finding yourself in a situation where you might still lose the game. Ooh, that is tough. I mean, Elite and Experience should actually soon go over to the blue team, given what we're seeing here right now. But, yeah, this is getting... it's getting really dangerous, honestly, for the red team. Because that fort at the top is now gone. That one doesn't stand a chance. Zagara is going to try and at least stop this a little bit. Gul'dan the same. They, of course, are aiming to protect their keep more so than anything else. But look how quickly that fort, for example, has disappeared. So they just need to go for as much range poke as they can here and try to keep the opponent at bay. The more of those ultralists they can take out and the more they can damage the boss before it arrives at the keep, the better for them. The only saving grace is that Rexa, for example, isn't here, but the boss has basically taken no damage, and level 20 is about to be ready for the blue team. So they might actually lose it right here. 20 is in, and now it's all about how they can survive, and Gul'dan falls. Gul'dan goes down, and that's disastrous. Blinded by the light for Jojo. Here comes the ult again. Galne is attempting to get away. Stukov is dead. That's game. That's game. Zagara is eliminated. And boy, oh boy. The red team thought they had it. I thought they had it. But they don't. This is the first point for the blue team. We are getting a victory as we're moving on to the fourth map for the team on the left side of the 16 kills to 10 as the second seed from Sweden claims the W. Map number 4. Alright, here we go. So, Towers of Doom is our next one. 30 heroes have been played and cannot be played again. Now, live chat, the Twitch chat is having a bit of a... it's having a bit of a blast and a fun time, because I honestly saw myself now eating lasagna. Girlfriend made lasagna, freshly done. I was out earlier in the kitchen for just a moment to fill up my water bottle to stay hydrated here, and I could smell it the entire time. And then, you know, when the red team started to push for the core, I was like, it's lasagna time. Alright, it's time for food. So I thought I would be now sitting in the kitchen and, you know, eat something. But apparently the heroes gods today had other plans for me. So what we're now doing is we're going for game number 4 and potentially a 5th game. I mean, let's face it. The blue team had an amazing semifinal. They looked a little bit more shaky coming into this series. But mostly in the late game. Even in the early game, they usually do it very well. But right now, they finally put a point on the board, and maybe that's lighting a fire under their butt where they can now jump in and say, okay guys, we're going to bring this back and aim for the reverse sweep. Wouldn't put it past them, but yeah, when the core started to drop, I thought, okay, this is probably it. Red team actually claims to do the 3-0, damn. But what we're getting instead is a 4th map. 30 heroes banned that can't be played again. But off we go. We get Carrigan ban, Mephisto ban, and the continuous ban against Deathwing. Time and time again. So, what are we now doing with the first pick? Map number 4 is where usually you start to have to at least think a little bit about what you want to play here, because again the options of what is available are slowly being whittled down. We get Maiev very quickly, so with her not being banned, Azzy just locks her in right away. So this is a fantastic first pick going into Towers of Doom. The Haka's obviously banned. Fallout has been played. A lot of the globals are gone. Deathwing, another one that can be super annoying on towers. And he has been eliminated too. Now, with that, what is the blue team going to do now? They're going for Diablo and they're going for Leoric. I mean, I gotta admit that I'm usually like trying to stay unbiased when it comes to a lot of these games, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Just like looking at the series and the way that everything has played out, I would be lying to say that I'm not rooting for Sweden here. I honestly think I would go as far as to say that I can pretty much guarantee that Sweden is going to win this series. It's getting late. I don't apologize. We are nearly... Oh, Vikings! Nice! Alright, bring it, baby. Now I'm happy that we're in game number 4. Yeah, it's heading towards midnight. We're not... Actually, I might eat my lasagna as breakfast. Somebody made a joke about it earlier. And I was like, no, I'm going to get this today. But right now it really seems like it's going to be more of a breakfast meal than anything else. Long day. Great games though, so I can't really be too mad about it. We got Diablo, we got Leoric. I, by the way, don't apologize about like those dad jokes at all. Chat was dropping one horrible joke after another. And at some point I was like, hey, if you guys can make shitty jokes, I can make them too. So that's exactly what we're getting here. Yeah, but Uther and the Vikings for Wooby, apparently. So Wooby Vikings is definitely something that I had on my Christmas list. And since I was a very good boy last year, apparently I'm being rewarded right now. Actually, I'm a good boy every year, so no surprise there. So, we get Zeratul banned. You're playing Vikings, you ban out Kerrigan, you ban out Zeratul. You have Maiev, Uther. Curious for Sven's pick. Curious to see what Sven is going to take here. But how is the blue team going to react? They get a great front line, by the way. Leo for the rotation and Diablo. I mean, poof. That's pretty awesome. That's something that you would start picking in game number 1, you know, not map 4. Okay, Tyrande Jaina. Diablo engage, Tyrande stun follow-up, and then Jaina burst damage. You can definitely burn a few heroes into the ground very quickly if you are running that. Just let that squad roam the map and they can drop whatever runs into them. But the final 2 picks now for the red team. You want to run a strong 4-man when you have a Vikings composition. With Uther and Maiev, that's already a great start. But what's going to be our main tank? We get Oriel, ooh, and Greymane! So, more of a main tank Maiev combo that we're now getting with the double support behind her. We talked about some of the wonky drafts that we had for the red team. We talked about this yesterday, I believe. And this is actually really strong, or can be really strong. If you are able with the 2 supports to keep Maiev at the front alive, and then you have her as damage, you have Greymane, and the rest of the map is being controlled by the Vikings, this can actually be quite solid. And again, hero pool is now reduced because we are finding ourselves in game number 4. Not to an extent where you can't find a proper frontliner, but hey. Oh, I'm talking about frontline. Triple frontline now for the blue team with Leo, Zul, and Diablo. Ladies and gentlemen, is the draft going to work out for the red team or not? Are we going to game number 5 or will the series end here? Well, let's find out. We're heading to Towers of Doom. 4th game of the series, and the blue team on the left with Macke on Zul. Finally able to put a point on the board and maybe, just maybe, start the reverse sweep here. Skok on Diablo, Berkhold on Tyrande. We got Gia on Jaina. And then Max Passion on Leoric. And with a pretty different draft for the red team. Team Sweden, the first seed, number 1 with Azzy on Greymane. Wooby going into a Balog build on the Vikings currently. Galnugul now on Uther. Captain Rax on Oriel. And Sven is playing Maiev. Again, Maiev main tank essentially here. So off we go. Is this going to work out for them? They got the sustain with the double support. Can obviously play Uther also more or less as a main tank here, and again they have that front line that they can run, but it's a very different style that they're rocking. And on a map like Towers of Doom, if you're playing the Vikings, obviously the entire map control that you're trying to establish is also really powerful, because you essentially end up in a situation where you can very easily try and interrupt the opponent on a channel that they have, buy a little bit more time around the altars for yourself, and maybe even sneak in a channel every now and then with the Vikings while your opponent is fighting a team fight or being interrupted somewhere else on the lane. So, we'll see. By now, obviously, at the bottom of the map, already the siege giants or the pumpkin camps taken. And, yeah, might be a bit tricky for the red team to break through the opponent's front line. That's one of the issues here. But Greymane is poking, and he can be aggressive here. So with that, we're now having the pumpkins burst straight through the wall and starting to slowly take this out. All the way up at the top, Balog's still rushing around. And honestly, I'm kind of happy with the fact that we're getting a proper Balog build for him right now. These are super fun and not necessarily the most common Vikings build, but it just always reminds me of the early days of Heroes of the Storm with Vikings in the game, where we then all of a sudden, you know, had like a lot of this Balog stuff where they're trying to control lanes, proxying wave, moving behind forts. Not necessarily possible on House of Doom, obviously, but still, you can control wave clear very heavily with this. So, yeah, we'll see. For now, though, level 4 for both sides and doing their thing. We have all the way up at the top, Sven still pushing a little bit and pushing this out very, very quickly. And down at the bottom of the map, obviously, it's a trap. The Admiral Akbar move right here. And they try to go for Oriel. Not able to get a kill in. Azzy, though, also surviving. The double support sustaining them very easily through this. And now, yeah, there comes the rescue. Look at that. Eric coming in. Now the blue team doesn't have a chance anymore. Once that Eric makes an appearance, you know that it's just over. He's just way too strong here. So, top side, Leo is rotating. Whoopi just firing away. And we got now Eric the Swift, which is pretty neat to keep him alive and also to just continuously interrupt whenever your opponent is attempting to channel anything. So one of the things that we'll definitely see in action when we're talking about triple altar phases and also some of the dual altar phases. Lots of stacks also coming through for the blue team in the meantime. But here comes the next push straight into the wall. But, well, Galnaguna is trying to channel. Diablo was attempting to make an engage here, but got quickly pushed back with a whip from Oriel. So now they're getting another shot fired. It's currently 1 altar for 1. Top side, the Vikings are buying time. Down here, on the other hand, Captain Rax low. And there's the snipe from Tyrande. Very nicely done. It's ending up with 2 altars claimed by the red team. I expected Maiev, honestly, to be more aggressive and with the team at the bottom of the map. And now that she tried to move in here, she gets killed. So that's 2 kills to 0 in favor of the blue team. They might not have been able to win the altars, but they were still able to do quite a bit on this. Now, kind of curious. Blue team did well in a lot of the early games. So, let's see. All the way up at the top, we have Max Passion, for example, still dealing with Balog. Olaf dying, camp still claimed. There's a half-level advantage right now for the blue team. And, yeah, if the momentum from the victory on the third map is all that they needed, and all of a sudden they can start to break this, it would also be wild. Imagine for just a second, really, that the red team had a 2-0 advantage, got the core of the opponent down to 50% on the third map, and now all of a sudden the blue team starts a reverse sweep and actually pulls it off. I mean, seriously. Think about that for a second. If that actually plays out like this, oh, how annoyed would you be if you're on the red team? That would infuriate me. I mean, this is a big tournament. There's a lot of money on the line here. $10,000 in total. You want to make it into the next round. By the way, the prize money is broken down very nicely. So if you make it into the third and final phase of the tournament, you're essentially guaranteed that you're getting some prize money. So you really want to get there. But in this case, it's getting, yeah, it could get wild. It could get really wild. For the red team, if they all of a sudden start now losing and we're having a situation where the blue team is just picking up steam with every single play that they're making, that would be nasty. So Whoopi is channeling at the top right, makes it actually. The interruption attempt by Max Passion is a little bit too slow. So each team fires off 4 shots, but there's heroic abilities. Red team should get them any moment as well, of course. But so, off we go. We already got the water elemental in. We got Apocalypse too. Oh, both with the panic button, by the way. I thought that Uther might at least opt in for a stun, but he doesn't. He goes for his Divine Shield, and then we have Aegis on the other side. Maiev also with the containment disc. And they're burning Olaf down, poor guy. Just used all the cooldowns on him. And talking cooldowns, Apoc against Uther. Aegis gets used, Boreal, nice. Maiev now with the attack, and can they make that happen? That's the big question. Right now, it doesn't really look like it. The blue team is looking way stronger on this, and they get a kill on Uther, and now turn it on the rest of the team. Auriel is about to fall to Jaina, is getting chased down here, and thankfully for her, has that whip and gets some distance. But it's 3 kills to 0, and the lead in experience continues. And I really want to see how this is going to work out now from the perspective of the red team. Because they gotta do something. I mean, they need something here. The fights currently are not looking great. So you need to be in a spot where you can at least leverage the Vikings somehow to either gain map control or to help you gain altars, take some bell towers, whatever it might be. If in the long run you can push for the lanes and just overwhelm your level on a macro level, that works too. But the 3 kills to 0, at some points you gotta change the MO a little bit. So Marka is now trying to move in with the rest of the team for that fight around the altar at the bottom of the map. Seems like Wooby is gonna get this for free though. There was an interrupt attempt, but that was very quickly shut down, so not a problem. And now we have 24 points against 32 on the core, so that's fine. But yeah, half a level until 13. It's not an easy draft to play, what we're seeing from the red team. Question is really if they can. There's lots of wave clear. I mean, Macke, for example, with Zul right now, Leo at the top. Here's the Apoc again. Aegis used right away. But they're using everything they can to shut them down even further. And Uther and Auriel both just barely make it out of the fight. Leo gets killed at the top by Greymane, so finally a kill for the red team. But the bell tower at the bottom of the map is suffering a lot of damage now. So yeah, they're going full on on this. Greymane, of course, in Worgen form at the top can do similar things, but there's just too many heroes down here. This is 4 on the lane as they're taking this out, and this is crazy. So yeah, that bell tower is nearly gone, and I currently don't see how the first seed of Sweden, how the red team is turning this. Greymane jumps out, still alive. Still the rather, well, in the mid game, I suppose, early mid game. But at this point, we're having some damage on the top side 4-2, so Greymane at least did some work here. Vikings are still playing this out quite nicely. We have a single altar coming up in the middle of the map. 13 for both of the teams, and on the damage side we got 31,000 off for Greymane, who's easily top damage in the game. That's basically 30% more damage than what we're getting from Jaina. And let's not forget, they are ahead on the objective. So just talking about coins on the core, the red team is for sure ahead. And Leo again taking lots of damage here as we're now moving in with sustain. Once that Vikings get level 16, obviously they're also going to be way more present in team fights with Largen in charge. They will play a much bigger role here. For now, it's just splitting onto the lanes that is important. If Olaf moves in, and in a situation like this, or Balog is able to attack the fort a little bit, or the bell tower, and gets the Inspire buff triggered, that would also a pretty big one. Whoopee! Oh, so close. But now Diablo gets attacked, and he actually had to move back for this. But it's Auriel that falls. Maiev wants a kill. Dodges out on the swing. But Leo is still going to get this, isn't he? Maiev wants the kill. Can't grab it. And instead it's now Leoric that dies, but the altar is still being fought for. Top lane, good damage in on the bell tower. Again, if they would have actually used Balog to try and make this happen, then maybe, you know, they can take that bell tower out. And now that they're using the Alder on the Vikings, they're going to make exactly that work. So bell tower is taken, just not in time to deny a shot to the blue team. So now it's 24 to 28 points on the core, but the bell tower control is at least finally happening. And the Vikings could play this out even more throughout the game. Both teams on their way to level 16, so in experience it's still fairly even. But this map control aspect that we talked about with the Vikings is now slowly starting to show itself. The problem is really the 7 kills to 2. Now, right now, there's a gigantic lead in hero experience for the blue team. It's made, I mean, basically it's negated through the minion experience that we're seeing and the structural experience. But the problem is really that once that you're heading into the later stages of the game, death timers are of course increasing, and that's where it gets nasty. So they're trying to go for Make here, they can't get him, instead Diablo makes an engage. Beautiful, beautiful ults from Oriel, by the way. That was another Aegis that was absolutely top-notch. The team is trying to get away here. They actually make it. They might fall. There's the Entomb. So they're still trying to get out. But I have to say that the Oriel plays that we're getting are something. No Divine Shield from Uther, by the way. He could have gone for it, but decided not to because of the cooldown. Vikings still controlling the lanes well. And Uther could, of course, heal with a Ghost. But now they're losing their own bell tower at the bottom of the map. And now the triple altar phase keeps coming up. So triple altar phase is kicking in next. Diablo surviving. And we're having 8 kills against 2 now. 16 gave us Largen in charge. This is where Wooby with the Vikings can participate way more aggressively in teamfights if he wants to. So they can go for Jaina, for Tyrande in particular, and try and get a kill here. But with 3 altars now up and a 5-3 bell tower situation, this could really hurt the red team. Vikings already at the top right, getting a freebie. Over on the top left, they're interrupting as Tyrande gets the one at the bottom. So it's 3 shots fired against 5. But here comes the wall stun in the Entomb, and Maiev is dead again. Maiev down. That is the 3rd time that she died. Uther also died 3 times. Divine Shield on Greymane as he's moving away. But the shots, as expected, fired, and now the red team score down to 18 points. So they're starting to fall lower and lower here and struggling more and more as now Olaf gets also targeted and killed. Only Leo died, by the way. So we're talking about the 2 kills for the blue team, but let's face it, if anybody is dying, then you always want it to be Leoric. So him just drawing a bit of aggro from the opponent and some cooldowns is always a good thing. Greymane is essentially the only one for the red team that hasn't fallen yet. And it's not really, the draft so far is not really working out for them. They're now falling behind on every single aspect. Experience, kills, and also map control all goes over to the blue team. And I'm telling you, this is looking more and more like we're going to game number 5. If they are pulling off a reverse sweep here, oh boy, I would be so mad on the red team. The first seed from Sweden came in swinging with 2 wins in a row. Lost on the 3rd map, and now in game 4 they thought they could pull off a very different draft centered around the Vikings pick and the double support here. And right now it is not looking that great. It started off pretty okay, but in here not so much. Double altar now at the bottom of the map. Level 20 in 1 level available for the blue team. Again, the attack. Greymane comes in. They want Jaina. Divine Shield after the APOC gets used. Beautiful coordination again from Leoric and Diablo with APOC and Entomb. But the focus on Maiev, and she is dead. Instantly killed here. And of course, Vikings are sneaking some channels. As they do, or they're trying at least. But here comes Gia. And it's going to take at least one of them down. Even a water elemental pop. 5 shots are fired. That's the core down to 13. Vikings and Greymane are trying to go for the bell tower at the top. So they're getting this. But not before the altar is channeled. And another 5 shots make their way over. So do the pumpkins. And the core is now down to 5 points. 5 points to 21. Guys, I'm telling you, this is looking bad for the red team. Yeah, another fantastic Entomb. With level 20, it's a buried alive that they're using here. Aegis gets used. Quick push on Greymane. He can say goodbye. Now they're going for Captain Rex. The boss is right there. They could go for it if they wanted to. And they have just so many opportunities. Fantastic play now from the blue team. And it is a wild ride today. The semifinals were absolutely insane. And now in the grand final, we might have one huge upset as well. With that big of a lead for the red team, I did not think there was any way for the blue team to turn it around. But this is looking more and more like we're going to game number 5. I mean, at this point, 1 single pumpkin, 1 altar channel is all that you need. They can go for the control here in the middle. Now they're pushing, of course, straight in for the next altar, or at least they will. Using the tunnels here, going for pumpkins. It's 20 versus 20 as we see Redemption. We have the Diamond Resolve as well. And for the Vikings, the Fury of the Storm. Now, this is a comeback map, and we've seen lots of comebacks where a team was in single digits on the core and still brought it back, sometimes against opponents that were on 30 points on their own core. But this usually happens when your team gains more and more map control and is able to dominate the late game. It might be that we're seeing this happen here, but they need kills. Without kills, you're not going to be able to get there. There is a single altar right now, and let's see who takes it. Is the blue team able to force game number 5 here or not? Buried Alive is out. Uther is dead, but he has Redemption. Landine Purpose here, I guess. Redemption is in. Aegis gets used, and yep, here comes Urel. Still alive as the quest for Jaina gets completed. No channels yet. The Vikings, of course, also looking for that back line with the Largen in charge. So Whoopi can try and go for Jaina here. And is already making a play. Gets that stun out. Hellgate approach. Whip. And Maiev is still alive. So far, so good. Here comes the Apocalypse. They're trying again. Greyman with the Divine Shield is trying to get the kill. Olaf jumping in deep. They go with the whip for Leoric and they take him down. Now it's a numbers advantage for the red team. I mean, to be fair, it's the entire time a numbers advantage. They're playing Vikings, so, well, there's that. But they get the 5 shots fired, and now all of a sudden it's 16 points to 1. 16 points to 1. And they go for the next team fight here. Uther! Oh, he's low, but he makes it. Yeah, they get the Vikings in play again. Maiev with mad damage, of course, now that she cleaves through the entire team. 75,000 damage for Greymane. Leo is back in 15 seconds, but here comes another bell tower conversion. Team, there's a single bell tower standing between the red team and potential victory. One altar is going to spawn at the bottom of the map, but now it's a 5 versus 5. Blue team move towards the top side to take their bell tower back, but we have the aggression in the middle, and they're claiming this one quickly. They're trying to, at least. Leo is working it down at the bottom of the map. Gia with Jaina at the top, and in the meantime, the red team is trying to trade for the middle. All over the place right now, this game. 1 point against 16, but we are in the late game here. So, Vikings could take the one at the bottom with ease. Olaf gets taken out. This one very low. They retook the top. 5 versus 3 on the bell tower count. But it seems like the blue team is going to be able to also reclaim their bell tower at the bottom of the map, as now the altar is finally spawning. This would have been a really nice one to take and hold control on, though. Because that is going to make... Retaking this is going to make it much, much easier now for the blue team to go for the altar at the bottom of the map. If they don't have access to that, it just becomes way more difficult. So, here we go. Instantly the next attack against Whoopi. Well, against Eric. And, yeah, he makes it. Vikings come through with the ult. Start in for Leorki. Yeah, that Entomb, if he drops it, is going to be absolutely ruthless. A lot of the ults have already been used previously. But now Leoric attacked at the bottom. Here comes Diablo, gets the wall stun out, and Balog already eliminated. Balog is gone, taking one Viking out after another. Buried Alive misses, but the Vikings are all falling. The Vikings are all falling as the Apocalypse gets played. Divine Shield, and Leoric is gone. Leoric is gone again. They tried for Greymane, couldn't quite get him. The disc is also missing though. And they're still playing this out as Whoopi is trying to channel. And he gets it. 4 shots fired. 12 points to 1. 12 points to 1 on the core. Yeah, they started at 21 to 1, I believe. And now they've taken multiple altars and are looking way better. Greymane with 96,000 damage. 69,000 for Jaina. Nice. But 15 kills to 4. And of course, Vikings can still try and control this a little bit. They're slowly also starting to respawn. But at least the last few battles have looked way better for the red team. So they still got to deal with the top. And of course, there's a boss now up too. So you find yourself in a really awkward position. Because you essentially need to try and take this boss. You need to remove that as a tool from your opponent. Tyrande has already scouted this out. But this is going to make it tricky. There's no big bell tower control now for the blue team. But eventually that boss has to be removed, or you're giving a chance to the opponent's team to make that work. Again, the Entomb is missing. Once again. That's a good one, actually. Max Passion without an ult. Maybe a time where the red team could use the opportunity to try and take the boss, and that's exactly what they're doing. So already the Owl got dodged out. They're trying to grab this. Yeah, it's Owl time. They're poking again, but Greymane is going to get the solo. Greymane is going to get this, and they take it. They claim it. 4 more shots fired. Both teams on single digits now. Both teams on single digits. 8 points to 1. Guys, the red team can actually still win this. They might take it here. Maiev jumps out. Ult again from both. Ult again from both Tyrande and from Zul. And here comes the attack as Max Passion looks for the next Entomb and hits them both. Apocalypse. Oriel is dead. Oriel is dead. Leo gets killed. And Uther falls, but he should have redemption. Maiev is not going to come back, though. And that is game as the core falls. GG. We have game number 5 coming up next. I hope all of you guys are enjoying the Nations Cup coverage. We got some awesome games coming up, of course, and the tournament so far has been a blast. If you enjoy the coverage, please keep in mind that we're actually dependent on your support to keep the Heroes esports scene alive, to host more tournaments like Meta Madness, the Nation Cup, or others. And normally I would ask you here to maybe support the channel on Patreon, but we currently have a campaign ongoing where you can support the channel for absolutely free. And it is super easy. All that you gotta do is check out the description of the video, download Opera GX, which is a browser, you install it, and then you can just simply watch a couple of YouTube videos on the browser. Maybe you join us on a live stream, or you use it for some general browsing, and that supports us then directly. Now, if you don't enjoy the browser, if you don't like it, that's not a problem at all. You can delete it afterwards, but it would be really important that you at least take a few minutes out of your schedule in order to do that, to support us here. Helps us a ton to keep tournaments like this one alive, and also to make sure that the Heroes esports scene doesn't die out. So once again, if you enjoy the coverage, it would be awesome if you guys could do that. All of the information can be found in the description of the video. Enjoy the rest of the series, and I'll see you guys soon. Game number 5. Okay, off we go. I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm just asking myself if the two teams are going for some kind of collusion play and they just want to make sure that I'm not going to get my lasagna today. I was, by the way, lying because initially I was saying no matter what happens, I'm going to get my lasagna. Right now, it's past midnight already, so it seems like today is tomorrow. But hey, that's what happens. We got a Viking game out of Wooby, but of course, Towers of Doom ended with the altar being channeled. They snuck it in while we had that big team fight going on, and the blue team pulled it off after all. It got a little bit close at the end, though. I have to admit that the red team looked stronger and stronger with every single team fight, and for a little bit, just a little bit, I actually believed that they would be able to win it after all. So it was way closer than expected, given that most of the mid and the early game went over to the blue team. But now we're actually here. This could be a reverse sweep. With 2 wins under their belt, we now have the blue team in a position where they might be able to pull this one off. So, yeah, Kerrigan gets banned against Gia. You might still have to deal with Alarok, obviously, so you gotta be careful there. But now that we're heading into game number 5, this means that 40 heroes have been played and won't be played again. So, with 89 heroes in the pool, you have essentially roughly 50 that you can still play. Then we have, of course, the 6 bans during the draft itself. So it limits your options, still leaves you with some. But this is going to make the final map quite interesting. And I'm still coming back to the same point here. Imagine being in a 2-0 lead and dropping your opponent's core down to 50% and all of a sudden finding yourself in game number 5. That's where we're at right now. Muradin as a very quick pick for the red team. Quite understandable. There's a lot of tanks that have already been played and are gone. So if you're looking for some prime tank, there are not that many around anymore. It's not that you're playing without tanks. You can still play a Stitches, for example, which is also a solid choice. But when it comes to the absolute top tier tanks, Muradin is still a very, very strong one. They go for Mei and they have Vala. So very quickly starting to get this one in. And for me personally, it's more so a question of what Wooby is going to play in the side lane. People have already talked about hey, he needs to play Murky now. We're going to get a Ragnaros. And honestly, I would love it. I don't think this is what we're going to get, but it would be amazing. I mean, Wooby Murky, oh, the dream. But yeah, it ain't happening. Samuro for Sven. Oh, that's good too. It's another... Oh, and Sergeant Hammer. Sven with Samuro is insanely annoying. With his typical team, he oftentimes plays Samuro and it gets regularly banned out against him too. So this is actually a really good one. So we can actually call him Adult Murky. He's also green, so I think it's kind of working a little bit. And he's about, when it comes to a nuisance level, he's about as annoying as Murky. Some people might argue that it's actually more annoying. So I think like grown-up Murky, that's probably a nice little nickname for Samuro. But that means that Wooby hasn't chosen anything yet. And with all the double supports that we've gotten previously, we're now apparently targeting supports. Okay. Supports are being shut down. What is still available? Whitemane is available. God, I tuned my head right now. Lily is available. Whitemane is available. Alexstrasza is available. So they ban out Sergeant Hammer's pocket healer in the form of Morales. So that Morales is not just sitting in the back and just gives the continuous heals over here. And maybe also dropping the ult on her. But, well, let's see. Chromie gets banned. Obviously, when you have Sergeant Hammer, you don't want to deal with Chromie. But how is the blue team now dealing with the hammer time? Yeah, game 5. We get Deckard Kane. Oh, he still is also up. And we get Sonya. So, side lane Sonya, Mei for a bit more control. And the final 2 picks, the 4-5 for the first seed from Sweden, who initially had the 2-0 lead and is now playing past midnight in an attempt to finally make it into the next round of the tournament. But it all comes down to the last map. And the last chance qualifier was absolutely wild. Bonkers. Ana and Malthael. So again, the potential of a nano-boosted Tormented Souls. Wooby on Malthael. And then the annoying Samuro plays from Sven. So, oof. Make is the last one to pick for the blue team. So we'll see how they're going to deal with the situation right now. But they are up against a really annoying lineup here. For a while I thought, okay, maybe they're gonna go... Ooh, Medivh, okay. Yeah, Medivh was banned out previously, but right now they still have him. So Make with Medivh. Is that gonna be enough? Ladies and gentlemen, the final map, this is what it comes down to. Final map in the series. We are going to Dragonshire. Sweden against Sweden. Which team makes it into the second phase of the tournament? On the left side, we have in blue, winning 2 games in a row, tying up the series. The blue team with Mako and Vala, Berkhold on Deckard Kane, Skok on Mei, Max Passion on Sonya, and we get Gia on Medivh. So a little bit of a swapperoo with Mako now playing Vala and Gia as the Medivh player. The red team with Wooby on Malthael, Death's Reach on level 1. Galnugulnar is playing Muradin. We got Azzy on Sergeant Hammer. Captain Rex on Ana. And Sven on Samuro. Honestly, it's a shame that one of the teams is going to drop out here. It's really a shame. Both are so much fun to watch. And it's been a very, very entertaining series here the entire time. So, it's actually... it's kind of sad. But, well, this is how tournaments go. Only one team can make it here. We're going to have plenty of amazing games in the future of this tournament, but we'll see which one of the 2 teams in front of you is going to be able to continue participating in the Nations Cup and which team will drop out right here. And essentially, when you think about it, then take 9th place. So, if you lose here, you're 9th out of 28 teams that signed up. We'll be going for the camp. Gia just saying quickly hello, and Sven is also assisting, so they're making sure that there's not going to be any sneaky plays with the portal all of a sudden popping up. A small invasion is coming through. And Sonya over on the left, a little bit late with her own camp. But up at the top, we now have the party continuing here as well, as Wooby is slowly starting to take control of this. Also, again, quick announcement here, or quick PSA. If you guys want to support more tournaments like this, you can always support the stream on Patreon. Big shout out, by the way, to all the Patreon supporters. As I said in the past, we have actually a lot of people that already support the stream there and have for the last few years, which is what allowed us to host this many tournaments as we have, and also, of course, helps us a lot with events like the Nations Cup. So if you want to help to support this, you can just check out the link in the description. Quick reminder again, I'm not really the social media guy, so you won't see that many updates over there. But again, this is all about hosting more tournaments and keeping the Heroes esports scene alive. And I guess if you just look at the work we've done over the last 7-8 years, we can with good confidence say that we have actually pulled it off quite nicely. And again, wouldn't have been possible without all of the support. So big shout out to all of the Patreon supporters. And a big thank you to everybody that is considering to support the stream there. So, cheers. With 1 kill against Maltael, the blue team has taken a small lead. At this point, oh, also, voila, 45 stacks. I was just about to say, the early game shenanigans that we're getting from the team in blue is actually not all that important because it's mostly the mid and the late game where it's really starting to get dicey. But we have Vala already at 47 stacks. I mean, Maka, damn, that is quite something. That was pretty huge, and if he can keep that stack pattern up, then that's going to be some nice late game damage against Muradin. He's not going to like that at all. So they're just controlling the shrines as best as they can. Sonya first up at the top, then down here at the bottom. Maka, okay, quite far out here. I mean, Bakul is dropping the potions the entire time. But you gotta be careful. But this is a lot. I mean, this is 64 stacks already. And look at Muradin. Muradin is just melting. That's a kill. The blue team is on their way to get a lead in game number 5. Guys, this could be a reverse sweep. They forced the final map, and now we're heading into a situation where they are starting to take the lead in game number 5. Aiming for that reverse sweep, and it would be crazy. I mean, again, they already played a best of 5 that went to the final map in the semifinals, and now we have Maka just getting one auto attack in after another. The man is killing it! What the hell? 87 stacks, hot pursuit on 7 now. And of course, Sergeant Hammer now also has her mobility finally and can have more of an impact here with Hover Siege mode. But still, that's some solid Vala play already. They have to deal with Sergeant Hammer though. And this is going to be quite tricky. With a good portal set up, they can make plays, but now they're aiming for Ana first. And that's a kill. Ana is gone. And talking about stacks, is not only Vala there as well, but we also have Medivh with 28 stacks. And quickly popping the shield so that Maka is not dying. That's 2% extra damage for Maka, as is already. Has to hearth back, no mana, doesn't really risk too much here. But that's 3 kills to 0 and a half level lead. If I am the red team, I'm actually starting to be afraid a little bit here. If I'm the red team, I'm looking at the score right now and where we are, and I'm like, what the hell is going on, boys? We should have won this series with a 3-0. Why are we in game 5? And why are we falling behind? So I would start panicking a little bit. Maka is going full cowgirl on us with one attack against the next with Muradin. We have 108 stacks here. They go for Ana again. And bye-bye. She's gone. Yeah, Maka is running ramped now here. And with 34 stacks to Medivh, if the red team doesn't do anything about it, then we're actually going to see a quick quest completed by him too. Siege Giants are about to be locked in, and we have level 10 coming up. Yeah, they're going to get level 10 in just a moment. So they have nearly a 1 level advantage over the red team, but Maka and his boys are looking very, very strong here. It's a bit wild to tell you the truth. Here comes the ley line. We get the ice wall for Mei. Rain of Vengeance, double control, at least for now, on the shrines, but it's quickly getting negated by the blue team taking the bottom shrine. And obviously, the leading experience is not that big, so the red team is catching up and getting their own heroics. But this is still getting super dangerous. So once again, the control quest completed for Medivh. Fantastic. Yeah. Ana with the sleep dart, that helped a lot. But now we have, for example, Sonya at the top lane demolishing the wall as Medivh is hovering in the middle and always threatening to potentially get the Dragonite, the first one for the team. 120 stacks for Vala, Tormented Souls and Nano Boost. Doesn't really come as a surprise to see that. We've seen it in action before, and it can win team fights pretty much single-handedly. Depends a little bit on, of course, what the rest of the blue team is going to do. If we have, for example, a Stale While Listen being popped or an Ice Wall. But one way or another, Vala in the lead on damage for the blue team with 18,000 now. And we got 23,000 for Sergeant Hammer. Assy is just eating the shots here. And talking about shots, I mean, Vala needs to be very careful here. Ice Wall is out, does not connect with Sergeant Hammer, but it stops Muradin. And he gets, again, attacked, as now Samuro is also joining the fun. But as long as they keep Maka alive, that late game prospect of her dishing out the pain with every single auto attack, including Manticore, of course, later as a tool, is huge. And we are now on level 12, 150 stacks nearly for her. Maka is getting mad damage. That's 3 of the quest rewards on his level 1 completed. So 150 hits in, 3% extra damage on those attacks, and they take Muradin down. They kill Muradin again. Kill number 5. Half a level ahead, bit more than that even, and once more control. Now Samuro is something that they have to deal with eventually, but for now Sven cannot push those structures too aggressively. Muradin himself, by the way, with 25 stacks, so he's currently in a situation where he needs another 15 until he gets his first quest reward, when his Pierce on the Storm Bolt connects and his cooldown reduction. But yeah, Illusion Master for Samuro, of course. And by now we have with 13 tempered by discipline, so some self-sustain for Vala, for the auto-attacker, as the portals are coming in. Napalm being used here, Muradin moving in again, and Maka reacting instantly, but using Muradin as a pincushion. Samuro moving through too, and has to swap out again. Vala is just working it. The combo with Gia on Medivh and Mako on Vala is absolutely amazing. So they're doing great here. 13 versus 13 talents, which now gives us also Kavarimi. Honestly, just sounds like sushi to me at this point. I mean, I'm just hungry. I want my lasagna more so than anything else, but if you give me some Kavarimi or some Kavamari, I'm gonna eat it too. 100%. Sounds yummy. Level 13 in a second, but they're controlling that bot lane quite well. And with the Siege Giant supporting them too, obviously even more so. And poor Muradin is just tanking the damage as now Sergeant Hammer becomes the target. Leyline! Stay a while and get wrecked. Ana goes down. That's the healer eliminated again, and they're just moving back through the portal. Quick disengage for them. Muradin, once again, getting attacked over and over again. And this game is not going to get any easier for him. Muradin is gone once more. That's now 4 additional percentage points on every single attack that is coming in here. I mean, right now we have 200 stacks for Vala, 4% on those hits, and this is ruthless. I mean, Muradin is going to hate his life. He's hating his life already. He's going to hate his life even more when we have level 16 for Vala, and she gets Manticore. Can you imagine what happens when level 20 is ready and she even gets the distance? I mean, this is brutal. It's 7 kills to 0. Team Sweden in red on the right side, the first seed from the country, hasn't even gotten a single kill yet. Not one. We're 10 minutes in and Vala is at more than 200 stacks. What is happening here? The combo with Medivh is insane. Maka is absolutely murdering them. They're going through them right now like hot butter through cheese. It's crazy to think about it. They were behind by 2 maps and now they're not only picking up 2 kills in a row, but they're also on their way to a potential victory in game number 5 and would then move on and eliminate the red team from the tournament. Now, we're not quite there yet, but the lead in experience is widening. And there's the 16 talent. So now we have Manticore. Yeah, Muradin is not having a good time here at all. Look at this. Muradin has to pop Avatar now. Is trying to get away here. And Vala just says, nope, not on my watch. Nope. Takes him down and just slaps him. She's now at 255 stacks. Maka, for the love of God, please slow down a little bit. You make everybody else look bad. 11 minutes in and nearly a completed level 1 quest on Vala. What's going on over here? And for the red team, they're struggling. They haven't lost any big structures yet, but it's only a matter of time at the bot lane until they're losing this. Sergeant Hammer's getting attacked and survives. No, forget it. The portal comes out and that's the end. The hammer has been dropped and now they want the fort. Mad momentum. We haven't even seen a Dragon Knight yet. We're now 11-12 minutes in. Sonya's taking control at the top, and I suppose the blue team is now going to try and get the objective. But yeah, that's the moment where they could rotate towards the middle and attempt to make a play here. The red team gets level 16 talents as well. Siege Giants are getting stolen too. Muradin missing 3 stacks until he gets his quest reward. And top side, Sonya gets out. Sonya is able to get away. Medivh is already here. But Max Passion still needs to be careful. Shield and of course the portal always available. But you gotta be cautious with this. But we now have, after the bot lane has been destroyed, the blue team moving towards the mid lane and just simply doing the same thing on this one. 50,000 damage for Vala, 60,000 damage for Sergeant Hammer. But that damage doesn't translate into kills. It's 9 kills to 0 right now. So all the way up at the top. Yeah, still Max Passion rotating back out of the fight with a portal assist from Medivh. Sergeant Hammer trying to join them too. And while we're talking about it, we had Vala shoot a couple of additional shots out and getting closer to a fully completed level 1 quest. Now, yeah, with one fort gone and the Dragon Knight now potentially taken, how exactly is the red team going to bring this back? Stormbolt connects, okay, so they get a stun here. But this looks very much like Dragon Knight #1 for me. Samuro is actually... he's too late. So, Samuro was trying to go to the bottom of the map to retake the shrine. But he's too late on this. So we are getting the DK for Sweden in blue. And we have now 13 minutes in, finally an objective. But it's likely going to help them eliminate a second fort. So, mad value. Crazy stuff here. I mean, seriously. They're really going for that reverse sweep. They might actually pull it off. I mean, I said at the beginning of the entire series that for me personally, I had Sweden, the second seed from Sweden, the blue team, kind of pegged as the low-key favorite, if you would nail me down on that. But after they lost 2 maps in a row and really struggled on Brax's holdout, I just thought, alright, boy, was I wrong. Apparently they just need a little bit of a run-up in order to make it happen, because now they're looking insanely powerful and nearly unbeatable in game number 5. Apparently the strategy was to make the opponent tired, to tire them out a little bit and then go for it, and so far it's working quite nicely. The camp is taken, Muradin is in a spot where he definitely doesn't want to be, he's like, get me out of here! Jumps out, as Vala is at 287 stacks, and they got the mercenary camp to make matters worse. They're nearly on level 20. They're nearly on level 20. Honestly, if we learned one thing of this series, then it's that you should never count the Swedes out. You should never count them out. I mean, again, the Swedes, they are, at the end of the game, the Swedes always win. That's the one thing that was pretty clear throughout the entire best of 5. But here comes the level 20 talent. Medivh cheats again. Vala comes in with Farflight Quiver, so more safety for her. And we also get Shatter. So, 1 fort is still standing. And now the opportunity to burn that one too. So this is exactly the thing that they can try and pull off here. But yeah, they're just simply taking that on as they're getting the wall on Sergeant Hammer with Shatter. And even Booby is not happy with what's going on here. The quest fully completed now for Vala 2. Maximum damage for her. Maximum damage. Yeah, have fun dealing with it. Muradin jumped in. Sonya's, by the way, pushing the bottom of the map. And has 4 siege giants with her. So Sven, good luck stopping this. Yeah, Sonya's immediately on it, but the siege giants are doing some work and the rest of the team is now rotating in as Berghult claims the control over the top shrine. So they're going for another Dragon Knight. Don't even have to deal with the top lane fort. They can just focus their attention on the bot lane a bit more. And it's going to be another DK. Skork is going to take it. Skork with a channel. Dragon Knight #2 goes to Sweden. 9 kills to 0. Level 20 versus level 19. And they want to have the fort at the top lane. So, final fort gets destroyed. The red team, I mean, they're going to make it to level 20. And I think at this point, the game plan for them is fairly simple. Make it to 20 and then just unleash the combos. Get the Tormented Souls, a nano boost, and just wreck them in a big team fight. They have to force a decent fight, and they can still turn this. I mean, obviously, this was so far a very one-sided affair in game number 5. But let's not underestimate what the red team can do if they just get one good battle. So, a little bit careful around that. That being said, they need to really unleash their teamfight prowess or they have a problem on their hands. Muradin has his Pierce now, so he has the 40 stacks, but here comes the 20, and that gives us immediately the Reaper of Souls, so that's already going to be big. Ultra Capacitors for Sergeant Hammer, And now the chance to potentially fight this out. No fort standing anymore for the red team, and they're about to lose a keep as well if they're not paying attention here. Again, it's Vala that burns down the copies of Samuro quickly, and this keep does not stand a prayer. Keep is gone. The keep is eliminated, and Wooby is still trying to force a bit of a fight. So does Muradin with the Stormbolt. And they're all just jumping back out. They eliminated the keep. They've done their job already. And now it's just time to go back home, reset a little bit, and chill this one out. Level 20, we got the Mountain King for Muradin. And there, with Samuro moving in. It seems like they're actually willing to fight this, especially if Muradin just pops his head out the entire time. Vala is going to happily school him how it's done. And yeah. What's the damage looking like for her? 67,000. Still nowhere near of what we're getting for Sergeant Hammer. But as I said before, all the hammer damage in the world doesn't matter if you can't get the kills. Now here comes the Tormented Souls, nano boosted. But the problem is that they're stopping this immediately. Sonya gets even saved, but finally kill. First kill for the red team. They take down Deckard Cain. And Malthael gets murdered. It's a kill for a kill here. As we had a hope, a sign of life at least. A little bit of hope for the red team to bring this back, but they at least were now pushing their way towards the opponent's fort and can now leverage Sergeant Hammer and the siege mode to try and take this one out and regain some control of this game. That's the idea right now. That's the play. They're also going in for that camp. Galne Gulnar is low, Medivh with the final hit, and the camp actually not taken yet. Blue team is now grabbing it as Sergeant Hammer gets attacked and Azzy is destroyed. Leyline connect on Anna, and she's also getting eliminated. So now 4 heroes are down and the red team is just not making it. Malthael might be back in order to stop this, but the blue team is on their way to victory. They want this. They smell blood in the water and they think they have a shot here to take the core down. And they might as well. I mean, they're getting mad damage. And you have Sonya, you have Vala. So yeah, starting to work down the shield very, very quickly here. Malthael is back, but the rest of the team is going to be dead for another 20 seconds, which is, of course, a lot. Especially since the shield is already gone and Whoopi dies on Malthael. Ladies and gentlemen, there it is. The blue team makes it. The second seed from Sweden advances to the final 8, to the second phase of the tournament, as Team Sweden, the first seed from Team Sweden, is being eliminated from the tournament. GG.